I think any team that's talented in our division, it's just another game for us.
Okay, Coach Bush, thank you very much. I turn it over now to my broadcast partner, Tad Kozaneski. And Coach, what's his last name, Tad? Can you tell me, please?
Coach Kozaneski. This is going to be real interesting. Yeah, we have the same last name. This is my father, the head coach of Eastern Day. First of all, tell us a little bit about your team and how the season's gone thus far.
Well, it's a little disappointing, although we have a young club. We start with 6 juniors, and I suppose if you would look back in the beginning of April, going this far the way we are, I should be satisfied with what we're doing. But we lost a couple of games in a pinch here as far as hitting with runners on base. We left a lot of runners on base. Pitching has fallen down a little bit, but we have a lot of juniors. We should be pretty good next year as well. So as of right now, I'm rather pleased with it.
Coming into today, 500 record, and that cutoff date's just around the corner, so this game must be real important for you.
Well, I'll give you a news flash, okay? This morning the AD just gave us a letter and said that the Camden game was a forfeiture, so we are 7-6, so this game has no bearing on it. So we're in the tournament regardless, win or lose, but we're going to give Mr. Bush a game today.
Tell us specifically about some of the guys we should look out for on your team, as in Washington Township we're not really familiar with your team.
Well, our center fielder, Hans Beebe, he has excellent speed, great arm, and has been hitting very well. We have our shortstop, Bill Laconi Jr., also hitting quite well. There's a left fielder, Brian Biazzo, has been in a little slump now, but basically a good hitter also. And these are, again, the juniors, most of them, and we hope to see him back next year and do very well.
Final question, what am I supposed to call you today?
Coach K is fine.
All right, Coach K, there you have it. We'll have the game coming up in a minute here, Ed.
I'd like to thank both coaches for joining us, Coach K and Coach Bush. Best of luck to both of you, and we'll be back with the play-by-play, the always unbiased, objective play-by-play of Tad Kozaneski. Eastern and Township should be a good one coming up next here on Channel 13. Quite interesting, in case you missed our opening pregame, my partner Tad Kozaneski has told us all that. What's the name of the guy coaching Eastern again? I forgot.
That's my father, Steve Kozaneski.
Steve Kozaneski. Did not think there was any question. There was definitely a relation between the two there. Kozaneski, not a name I hear very often on the South Jersey circuit.
Let's check over things defensively for Washington Township today. At first base, Tim Barbara. Second baseman is D.M. Phillips. Shortstop is Jeff Wood. Third base, Tim Huckle. In the outfield, Mike Wallace will be in left. Mike Kerner in center. Jim Fletcher out in right. Behind the plate, Roy Price. And on the mound, Tim Stouse. Stouse, in 7 innings of pitching, has given up 1 hit, 1 double. He still hasn't given up a run, so obviously his ERA is 0.00. He has 6 walks and 5 strikeouts.
Well, you know, Tad Township, everyone talks about the great hitting, but they've gotten some solid pitching this year, too. And one of their top pitchers, of course, is going to be the DH today, Chris Gervasi. He's pitched strong, but they've got a lot of decent efforts from a lot of different pitchers. Yesterday, when they beat Holy Spirit 8-1, senior Chris Prettyman stepped up, tossed a 4-hitter, struck out 10. So, I mean, it's great when you're scoring 13 runs, but the pitching's come through, too.
And I have to apologize to our first baseman. I called him Tim, as in Tim Huckle. That's Gary Barber at first base, so I apologize to him. Leading off today for Eastern will be Brian Biazzo. Biazzo coming into this game batting .353. Stouse's first pitch to him. Pop foul out of play and over our heads. 0-1 to Brian Biazzo.
When you get to this point of the year, Tad, when the stretch drive is really on, of course, the cutoff date coming up tomorrow, and the division races are coming, you really need more than one pitcher to step up for you.
0-1 pitch. Line drive into right field. Fletcher under it, and he squeezed it for the first out of the inning, so there's 1 down.
That time, Stiles fed Biazzo a breaking ball. Got it up and out over the plate a little bit, but on the outside. Biazzo hit the ball, just got under it a little bit, and it turned out to be out number 1 into Jim Fletcher's glove.
That'll bring to the plate junior Frank Schoeneman. Schoeneman hitting .360, 10 runs scored. He has 2 doubles. In there for a called strike. Pretty much all fastballs so far for Stouse. Schoeneman, a junior at the plate, has played baseball and basketball mostly. 1 strike pitch. There's an off-speed pitch in there for a called strike. Nice changeup there.
Excellent changeup right there, and Schoeneman was not looking for it. Schoeneman on this team, second on the team in run score with 10. You really like to see that from one of your guys at the top of the order, especially your number 2 hitter.
0-2 pitch coming. Pop foul, up the X, taken by the pitcher. Beautiful pitch there with 2 strikes, jammed him right on the hands.
Holy jam job, Tad. Right there, he just came in with a real nasty pitch inside, and I believe Schunerman just got that ball right near his fist. A great pitch right there by Stouts, and that's tough when a pitcher's throwing you that breaking stuff out over the plate and a little bit outside, and then he comes back with a nasty inside pitch like that for the second out. Here's start again.
Here's senior Hans Beebe. Beebe batting .433. In there, a little bit low for a ball, 1-0. Beebe with 3 doubles and 2 triples on the season and 8 runs scored while 12 RBIs. 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes to Hans Beebe. Enjoys collecting baseball cards.
Well, he's going to be a very rich man if he continues to do that. And I know he's been having a spectacular season, Beebe. You mentioned his average of .433. He's also knocked in 12.
That's low, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to Hans Beebe.
So far, a difference in Beebe from the other 2 Eastern hitters. He's been a lot more patient to plate, has not chased a couple of pitches, and not been behind in the count. He's jumped ahead now, Stouse.
3-0 pitch. In there for a called strike, 3-1. Baseball card collecting Hans Beebe. That's a good point, man. Those cards are shooting up in value every day.
I regret what I did with all those ones I collected as a kid. I threw them out somewhere, didn't think they'd be worth anything.
Inside ball 4, so Beebe draws a walk. He's the first base runner of the game for Eastern.
That's real good awareness right there by Beebe. There's a pitch that almost became a strike, but even if you're Beebe, that's a pitch you don't want to swing at, even if it is a strike. It's not a pitch you're going to do much with. It looked like the same pitch Schunerman was jammed on, but he had a good eye and took the pitch for a walk.
Here's junior Bill Laconey to the plate, batting .273. He has 9 hits in the season, 1 double. That's low for a ball. He has 8 runs batted in. He's also a baseball card collector.
It's going to be a lot of very rich Eastern Viking graduates I can see in the real world, Pat.
1 ball and no strikes to him at first base. Hans Beebe, he walked. Doesn't have a big lead at first. Stouse's pitch. That's a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Price is going to come out and have a word with him. He's not missing by much out there.
I don't know if he should worry too much about Beebe. Beebe, with only 2 attempted steals on the season, may not be a real threat to run, although, you know, when teams see a pitcher like this that throws a lot of breaking stuff, they have a tendency to maybe try and run a little more because obviously the ball takes a little longer to get to the catcher.
We're in the first inning, just underway. 2 outs. Runner at first base is Hans Beebe. He walked. This is Bill Laconey. Line drive foul down that left field line. Hit real well down that left field line. Carried.
Well, Laconey saw a pitch he really liked there. Really just swung early, was anxious to hit that. He's first in this team in runs scored, and he just saw a pitch up and in. And he wanted to really turn around and get a rip at it, but pulled it foul.
On stealing at first base, attempting to steal out there was Beebe. On the foul ball, he comes back. They adjust the left fielder out there, Wallace, accordingly. Swung on and missed. He was in front of that one. That was a nice off-speed pitch there by Stouse.
Stouse has got a real nice pitch right there. He's got a breaking ball and it's something else which looks like it's a changeup. And it's coming in there. It's really fooled a couple of these Viking hitters.
Junior Bill Laconey back in the box. Runner going, hit well into left field. Wallace retreating, hooking away. It's in for extra bases and bounces over the fence. So a ground rule double on the play for Bill Laconey. Hans Beebe's going to have to hold at third. That's a break for Washington Township because Beebe would have scored easily on that play.
Oh, he would have, Tad. In fact, he was off trying to steal on the pitch, and so he would have scored easily, as you mentioned. Interesting there, we saw John Bush move Mike Wallace over to the line a little more, but not much you can do about that as Laconey got around him on that time. There you see it just out of the reach of Wallace, who's played a good left field for Township this year down that line. So now second and third, as you mentioned, a big break for Township.
Here's Jeff Guadagno to the plate. Jeff is a senior, batting .333. He has 10 hits, 1 extra base hit, a double, 6 RBIs. Chance for Eastern to do some damage here early. That's what Cherry Hill East did, and that was one of the keys to their victory. In there for a called strike.
You mentioned those 6 RBIs, Tad. That is 4th on this Eastern team. In case you missed at the top of our telecast, they are in the playoffs by forfeit of Camden today in a game that was supposed to be rescheduled with them. So Eastern is in.
Oh, what a curveball. Way out in front of that one was Guadagno. Beautiful curveball, bounced off the plate. You have a good angle from it there. Coach K wants to go down and talk to Guadagno. Got to tell him to think about it. You can't commit too early. You have to keep that front shoulder in.
And if you're an Eastern batter, you're sitting in the dugout, and again, you see a guy who throws a lot of slow breaking stuff, and you're very tempted to get up there and really just try and swing early and get around on one, and then you can do what Guadagno just did and chase one of those low pitches. So he's got to just kind of take his time in there and bear down. And Stouse, meanwhile, what he doesn't have velocity as a pitcher, he sure makes up in location. He's really picked the spots well this inning.
Guadagno was involved in a 16-year-old South Jersey championship team. I guess that was a Babe Ruth team. They went to the Eastern Regionals and played in Maryland. He's got to hang in there now. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Stouse's pitch. Hit him on the pitch. So getting down to first base and being hit is Jeff Guadagno. The bases are now loaded, and this is what happened in that East game. They got 2 quick outs, and then the problems start. This is almost a carbon copy of that game. As senior Ed Coppinger comes to the plate. Coppinger batting 115, 4 runs scored. He has 1 extra base hit. It's a double.
Well, the one advantage that does, Ted, obviously it sets up the force at any base, so a ground ball in the infield could make a difference here with the bases loaded.
Coppinger ready. Here's Stouse's pitch. Low for a ball, 1-0. You can't stress that enough when a team like Washington Township, obviously favored in this game fairly heavily. It's very important for the team like Eastern to get as many runs on early on and mentally pump themselves up in this one. 1-0 pitch. Missing inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And it can work in the reverse if you're a team like Township. They went in, had a critical game against Edgewood last week. They jumped out to a 10-1 lead early in that game, and that pretty much turned the lights out for the Eagles. So it can work in the reverse way, too, if you're the favorite.
2 balls and no strikes to Ed Coppinger. Stouse's pitch. In there for a called strike, 2-1.
Now, Stouse looked like those first couple of pitches, maybe trying to aim the ball a little bit here with the bases loaded, wanted to make sure he threw a strike. That time, 2-0, he figured the batter wouldn't swing. He took his time, put it right down the middle.
Low for a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike to Coppinger. Bases are loaded, 2 outs were in the first. He definitely has Coppinger as a pick of what he wants to hit here. He doesn't have to swing. He can sit on one. 3-1 pitch coming from Stouse. In there for a called strike. So now with 3-2 count and 2 outs, all the runners are going to get a jump here.
And that was a good pitch there by Stouse. He had missed on his breaking ball so far in this at-bat to Coppinger. And that time he put a much-needed breaking ball. Good pitch right on the low part of the strike zone.
Runners will be going. Stouse from the windup. 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4, he walks in a run. So coming in to score is Hans Beebe, and Eastern leads it 1-0. You can't help wondering, Tad, in a situation like that, sometimes the runner's taking off, bases loaded, it can be a little bit of a distraction. Hans Beebe already halfway down the line by the time that pitch goes in. I'll tell you what, it was a great job by Roy Price to block that ball, because with the runners taking off, if Price does not block that wild pitch, 2 runs might score. That brings to plate Mike Husenica. Husenica is a junior. Takes one for a ball, 1-0. Husenica batting 179, 2 runs scored. All his hits have been singles. Stouse shakes off his sign. Now he's ready. In there for a called strike, 1-1.
Very important for Stouse, for his confidence, to get out of this inning down only 1 run. You mentioned the 2-out trouble they had against Cherry Hill East, Ted, and next thing you know, the Cougars were up to a 5-0 lead.
High and inside for a ball. Stouse hasn't been too far off the strike zone here. He's been fairly close. He's not missing by much.
No, except for that 1 wild pitch, he hasn't missed by much, Ted. And again, his breaking ball just missed a couple of times to the last batter. He really needs to get that good changeup or breaking ball back.
Pop foul out of play. Sat on that high fastball there. Just missed it.
Well, Seneca, after seeing a lot of off-speed stuff, probably on the bench too, and then up at the plate, was ready for that fastball. Saw it coming. Pitch was a little high. Might have been a ball, but he wanted to take a rip at that with the bases loaded and fouled it back.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Husenica. Bases loaded. Eastern with 1 run in the inning. They only have 1 hit. 2 walks and a hit batter have been the factor. Just missing inside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes, so the runners will be going again with the bases loaded. His nickname is House, you hear it in the background. 3-2 pitch coming. Runners go. Pop foul out of play. We'll reset it and play it over again. Count remains full to Husenica.
And that's tough for a pitcher. Again, if you're Stash, you're out here a little longer than you thought you would be, and at 3-2 count, you start throwing pitches that get fouled off. You start to throw a lot of pitches. It can get frustrating. And we see in a lot of situations, pitchers, after a foul ball or 2, they get a little frustrated and throw a bad pitch for a ball 4.
And Eastern's averaging a little over 6 runs per game, so every run counts for them. There's high and outside ball 4. He walks in, another run is coming in to score. Is Bill Laconi, and Eastern takes the lead 2-0. So Eastern with only 1 hit in the inning. It was a big one by Laconi, who ripped a double, ground rule double, and it's been a couple walks that have hurt Stouse thus far.
And now timeout as one of the assistants for Township is going to go out and talk to Stouse and just try and settle him down a little bit. I think, Ted, like you said, he feels he was close to getting out of the inning. The 2-out syndrome we saw against Cherry Hill East last week. And this is a game, as Township learned their lesson last week, they don't want to fall behind early, give another team, especially Eastern. This is not a bad team coming in. They're 7-6. They can be tough. They played a tough game against Township earlier in the season. And need we say, in just 2 days, Township has what should be their game of the year against Cherry Hill West. So this is a critical game for them.
Good decision for the Washington Township coaching staff. Get out there. Pitcher is Stouse is not missing by a lot. These pitches are close. It's not like he's real wild high on all of them. Now the umpire Sass will come out. The umpire behind the plate used to be a Paul 6 football coach back when I was playing at Paul 6. One of the assistants. Coach Sass. Now
sure
Eastern with the bases loaded here. Stephen Patriarca to the plate. Stephen is a junior.
I'm sure Stouse now has been settled down enough for it. Let's see if he comes right off here with the strike. He might try and go with that breaking ball again.
Patriarca has no officials at bats thus far. There's a line drive up the middle. Nice stab by Jeff Wood. So Jeff Wood puts the closing form on what could be a big inning for Eastern as they leave the bases loaded. Had 1 hit in the inning, 2 runs scored. All walks was pretty much the damage. We get ready for the bottom half of the first. Eastern with the lead, 2-0. And defensively for Eastern today, pitching will be Eric Fleming. At first base, Mike Husenica. Second baseman, Frank Schuneman. Shortstop is Bill Laconi. Third baseman, Jeff Guadagno. Left field, Brian Biazzo. Center field, Hans Beebe. Steve Patriarca in right. Behind the plate, Ed Coppinger. And on the mound, Eric Fleming. Eric is 2-1 with a 2.95 ERA. He's pitched 19 innings, given up 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 19 hits, 9 walks, 13 strikeouts.
Ted, I can't help noticing those Eastern uniforms. It reminds me of a little throwback to one of those goofy Chicago White Sox jerseys. Same color,
You're
same
making fun
style.
of my dad's uniforms.
I am not making fun of your dad's uniforms. Your dad didn't come up with them. It's not his fault.
So you don't like them then, huh?
I don't know if not liking is the best way to put it. They just look very 70s.
I don't know if you get a shot of them or not. I've seen some softball teams that have them. They're different. They're unusual.
Oh, I've seen much worse in South Jersey, no question about
Washington
it.
Township sporting the pinstripes today. Washington Township, as we said earlier, has no problem scoring runs. They're number 4 in South Jersey behind Gloucester Catholic, Paul 6, and Hamilton in scoring runs. They average nearly 11 runs per game. In Eastern side in this, they only give up about 4 runs a game, and they're in the top 8 in South Jersey in that. So something's got to break today.
It should be interesting because we've seen this Township team really destroy some good pitching this year. This team, very simply, top to bottom, you just one of those lineups, 1 to 9, you know everyone on this team can hit. They score a lot of runs.
Jeff Wood's going to lead things off for Washington Township. Jeff is a junior, batting .312, leads the team in steals with 9, also leads with runs scored with 16. Missing outside for a ball, 1-0.
Amazing, Ted. You mentioned that .312 average. I see it down here, but it's down in the middle of the Township lineup. A lot of guys batting over .400 on this team.
That's low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. So we'll keep an eye on Fleming. Pretty impressive ERA, 2.95 in 19 innings pitched, 2-1. The only pitcher besides Schoeneman with a winning record on the Eastern Ball Club. Also Laconey 1-0, I should mention that. That's in there for a called strike, just above the knees. So Wood's a threat if he gets on with those 9 stolen bases. Playing pretty much straight away. Foul down that third baseline.
Well, Jeff Wood is, as they say, set the table as most good leadoff men do on this team. Very productive in that top spot. Gets on base a lot. And he's got 11 walks on the season, which leads the team. That's very impressive for a leadoff hitter.
They line up outside, 2-2 pitch. Line drive hit well into left field and deep. Retreating is Biazzo. That ball is out of here. Leadoff home run for Jeff Wood, and Eastern's lead is reduced to 2-1. That's a pitch you don't want to throw with two strikes in the batter, Ed. That was high and inside, and he just telegraphed that one. It was lined on a shot out the left field.
Ted, that's a pitch you don't want to throw in any situation. We look at it again on the replay. Watch this pitch. Just went high up in the strike zone, and good night. As Jeff Wood got all that pitch and sent one out of here. And Ted, that is his first home run of the season. For a while, Mike Kerner was the only one who hit the long ball for Township, but a lot of people are starting to break in that home run column, like Roy Price. Tim Huckle had one against Edgewood, so this team is everyone now starting to hit the long ball.
D.M. Phillips is the second batter for Washington Township. Phillips batting .428. Has 7 doubles, that leads the team, and 12 runs scored. Has 15 hits individually. That's second only to Kerner. Ball 1 to him.
See Fleming, after throwing that breaking ball over the plate, tried to come back with a fastball there inside, but everyone on this Township team really has a good eye at the plate, too. They do not chase too many bad pitches.
That's low for a ball. In case you're wondering, it's 325 down the left field line. And in the left center field gap, 343. And the wind is blowing out the left field, so we still may see some more of them in this game. That's low for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes to D.M. Phillips.
It's a pretty warm day here at Washington Township. Good to see this weather after so many rainouts yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of teams had to play in rain, and nice sunny 80-degree day here. Good day to catch some rays down in Washington Township.
We're certainly getting burned. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's low for a ball, so drawing a walk is D.M. Phillips.
You know, looking from the Eastern standpoint here, and Coach Kazaneski, you jump out to a 2-0 lead in the top of the first, and your pitcher comes back, a home run and a walk on 4 pitches, and now look who's up next, Mr. Mike Kerner. And so this is a situation right here. Eastern wants to get out of this still with a 2-1 lead, obviously, but it can be very damaging for them after jumping out to 2 quick runs if Township can have a big inning here in the first. And you, Ted, why don't you tell about Mr. Kerner's slim average, if you will?
He's batting .629 with 28 RBIs. That's low for a ball 1-0. Leads the team in hits. He has 22 hits, 7 home runs. That leads South Jersey, and 5 doubles. Only a junior. He'll be back next year. Been a lot of talk and a lot of written about this young man already. That's low for a ball. Fleming doing a nice job of keeping the ball low. You don't want to get the ball up to this guy.
You don't want to get it anywhere right in his hitting area where he can really slug the ball. He was a one-man wrecking crew at Edgewood last week. He slugged 8 RBIs, 4 out of 5, 3 home runs and a double.
3 balls and no strikes. They're playing him way over to pull down the right field line. They just moved the right fielder, Petriarca, back a couple steps, so they really shift over. You can see the left fielder in the distance in your screen. If he hits anything down left field, it's going to be well into extra bases. Just missing a little bit low. So Kerner walks. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
Well, Mike Kerner, a very patient hitter, too. He, as we mentioned, as do many of these Township hitters, do not chase a lot of bad pitches. And he was just patient up there. He'll take the walk. First and second, nobody out for the Minutemen.
Senior Tim Huckle to the plate. Tim batting .351. Leads the team in at-bats with 37. He has 3 doubles, 1 home run, 12 hits on the season. Leads the team in getting hit by pitches with 2. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Huckle with some decent power. There's a shot into center field. Beebe under it, playing it, tagging down at second base is Phillips. They throw on to third. It's going to be a little late. So tagging to third base is D.M. Phillips. Holding at first is Kerner. One down in the inning off the hit off Tim Huckle.
Well, Huckle got a good pitch to hit there, Tad, but he just got under it a little bit, sent it up into center field. Did move the tying run over to third base. There you get a look at it again. See, just swung, uppercut that a little bit right there, and we got up and was an easy out for Beebe.
Gary Barber comes to play. Gary is a junior, batting .333. Has 2 triples on the year, 6 RBIs, 11 hits. First and third, 1 out. 1 run in, 2-1 Eastern with the lead. We're in the first. Ground ball to second baseman, runner stealing, just screen. This is going to be trouble. Play to first, just in time to get Barber at first. Real close play. The problem on that end was the runner Mike Kerner did a nice job of screening the second baseman as Phillips comes in to score.
That was a great job by Kerner. He was going to be safe at second, and he amazingly timed that run perfect where he was right in front of second baseman Schumerman when that ball came, and that really was what distracted Schumerman, and he needed a close play at first. He just got the out of first, but we have a tie game.
2-2's your score as Chris Gervasi, a senior, to the plate. Gervasi batting .400 on the nose. No extra base hits. He has 2 singles on the year. Low for a ball. Gervasi has 5 at-bats officially on the season, 4 RBIs, so that's pretty impressive. In 5 at-bats, 4 RBIs. 2 outs in the inning. Popped up. Center fielder Beebe coming on in center field. He calls and squeezes for the 3rd out of the inning, but Washington Township comes back, ties it with 2 runs, one off the bat of Jeff Wood, a home run. So we get set for action in the top of the second. Real good game thus far, 2-2. Gary Long to the plate, batting 9th in the lineup today. Gary is a senior, has no official batting average in 10 at-bats. He has walked 3 times, though, and scored 3 runs. Enjoys weightlifting, and you can tell he's got some pretty good size out there. Eastern bench talking it up a little bit. First pitch from Staus. Swung on and missed for a strike. Long's batting average last year was .265. High and outside for ball. He says his most memorable game was when he went 2 for 3 against nationally ranked Cherry Hill West. He hit a double and a single off Bo Gray in his first varsity game.
Not a bad way to get into your varsity.
High and inside for a ball.
Get into the varsity league, you face perhaps the best pitcher in all of South Jersey at the time, 2 for 3. He's looking for his first hit. You know, you see him all bulked up. For some batters, it's a good thing. For others, it can be a problem, though, because you carry, of course, the extra weight, although it is muscle weight.
Swung on and missed for a strike. Having trouble with that high fastball. Coach telling him to look for the curveball here. We'll see what Staus wants to do to him. He's missed on 2 fastballs. I'd tend to come back with another one. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3, and we have 1 down here in the second. That'll bring to play Brian Biazzo, a junior. Brian flew out to right field to start this game.
And that time Long right there, as you mentioned. Staus coming back with that fastball. Long just pulling his head out when he swings the bat. That's why he's missing it.
Biazzo batting .353. 8 runs scored. 12 singles. No extra base hits. 1 out in the second. 2-2's your score. Outside, just missing for a ball, 1-0.
Well, Staus coming out very confidently against Long. He wants to try and keep working those corners here so far.
1-0 pitch. Nubber down the first base line. It's going to stay foul and out of play. Picked up by Price. Got that off the end of the bat there.
And that's when Staus has been successful. He's worked inside, he's worked outside, he's been able to mix up his location very effectively.
I'm Tad Kozaneski along with Ed Bankin for Jones Intercable. We're in the top half of the second inning with 1 out. We're tied at 2. Curveball, nice curveball. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. Ed loses his papers, blowing in the wind.
Boy, we are well prepared. It's a good thing your dad coaches Eastern, because we just have a plethora of stats here at our scorers table.
Oh, Washington Township are always prepared with their stats too now, Ed. Every game, we don't even have to ask. They're here. The scorekeepers walk over to us and just hand it to us.
Well, they do a great job here at Washington Township of supplying us with everything we need for all sports. And again, it's a nice place. The field here is in really good shape. It's a good place to come and see a baseball game.
There's a line drive into right center field. Kerner, the center fielder, on it and squeeze it for the second out of the inning. Kerner had a real nice jump on that out in center field.
Yes, he did. And if anyone out there, some of our younger viewers, wants to get into baseball, wants to learn how to play the outfield, just watch Mike Kerner. He is unbelievable in center field. The thing that's very impressive about him, not only does he get good jumps on the ball, you could tell he does what a center fielder, right here again, even though this one pretty much goes in his area, he takes charge out there. We saw him in a lot of close pop-ups the last couple of games. Take charge. He's in command out there in center field.
Frank Schoeneman to the plate, first pitch to him. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Frank batting .360. He flew out to the pitcher in the first. He's a junior. Played baseball for 3 years and a member of the American Legion team. Way out in front of that one, swung on for a strike. A lot of these kids we'll mention for Eastern that play American Legion play on the Gibbsboro American Legion team. Of course, the Washington Township players on the Washington Township American Legion team.
Very good, Ted. Did you figure that out by yourself?
I'm telling you. Curveball off his foot, foul ball. That's got to hurt. Hit him right off his shin.
Just got him inside a little bit, and as you mentioned, fouled that one off his foot. That's going to sting for a little while, and there you see Schoeneman just trying to flex his foot a little bit.
I'm impressed with the way Stals is throwing. He had some walk problems in the first inning, but he's got a real nice curveball. If he can get that over, these Eastern batters are having some problems with it right now. That's low and outside for a ball.
Now we have a 2-2 count. Now we've seen Stals a couple of times come in with a breaking ball. Then he threw that last pitch outside, so we'll see if he tries to come inside here.
Popped down the first base, played by the first baseman, Gary Barbara. So Eastern goes down 1-2-3 in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We get ready for the home half of the second. It's Washington Township 2, Eastern 2. 2-2 is your score. I'm Tad Kozaneski along with Ed Bankin on Jones Intercable. Olympic Conference battle between Eastern and Washington Township. First pitch to Price. Low for a ball, 1-0.
It's a big inning for Fleming after giving up that home run and then walking a couple people, resulting in run number 2, which tied this game. He's got to come out, establish himself, and get ahead of the hitters.
1-0 pitch. Low again, 2 balls and no strike, but still, that's a good sign if you're Eric Fleming. You want to stay low with the ball.
Yeah, well, he saw what happened when he got one up to Jeff Wood the last inning. He sent one over the fence in left field.
2 balls and no strikes to Price. In there for a called strike. It's 2-1.
And a pretty good crowd here in Washington Township. Beautiful weather for a baseball game.
Here's a 2-1 pitch from Fleming. Just missing low. 3-1. These pitches aren't missing by a whole lot, Ed.
No, neither pitcher's really missed by much. The umpire's been consistent so far. He's calling the same strike zone for both pitchers, and that's what you want to see.
3-1 pitch. That's low, ball 4. So Price draws a walk to lead off things here in the second. So with Price on first base, here's Jim Fletcher. Jim is a senior. Jim batting .458. He has 11 hits in the season. No extra base hits, 3 RBIs, 10 runs scored. He leads the team in singles with 11. Choking up on that bat. He's way up. He's up about 2 or 3 inches on that bat. Outside for a ball, 1-0.
You saw the throw back over to first base. Roy Price, the catcher, only with 1 stolen base on the year, so I don't know if he'll be taking off unless he really surprises us and maybe gets a good lead. Again, when you're facing pitchers that throw a lot more breaking balls, then some teams have more of a tendency to run, and John Bush and Washington Township have never been timid as far as doing a lot of running.
Pickoff play at first. Well, we are privy to the stats here. The other team doesn't know who has the stolen bases or not, so we know what the story is on Mr. Price at first base. And if you're Eastern, every batter and every runner is extremely important in this game. There's a pop fly in the left center field. Hans Beebe, the center fielder, calling. Now the left fielder, Biazzo, comes in and makes the play, and there's one down in the second. That'll bring the 9th hitter in the lineup up. This is Mike Wallace, Mike a junior.
Interesting with Mike Wallace. How'd you like to have your number 9 hitter batting .392 on the year?
He has 2 doubles, 1 triple, 8 singles, 12 runs scored, and 12 RBIs. Another pickoff play back in safely Price.
He's been hitting well lately too, Tad. If I can remember correctly, the game you did last week with Cherry Hill East, he had a big hit. The week before, he had an RBI double against Edgewood.
Back to first base again. Price doesn't really have that big of a lead out there, as you can see from that camera angle we had on the third base dugout. He's not really going that far out there. Got maybe a 2.5 step lead. Now he stretches it a little bit. Inside for a ball.
And it's got to be frustrating for Fleming. As you mentioned, Ted, he's not missing by much, but if you fall behind these Township hitters too many times, you can forget about it.
As a team, they're batting .395. That's inside for a ball. So that's impressive in itself. And as we said before, they're the number 4 team in South Jersey in scoring runs, averaging just under 11 runs per game. Fleming goes back to first.
Fleming has to focus in on Wallace here. He's falling behind him.
There's a called strike. Wallace didn't like the call, thought it was a little outside. Wallace in the box, 1 out. Runner at first base is Roy Price. He walked. Runner going. Throw down to second base. Pretty good throw, but late. And stealing second base is Roy Price. So Price picks up his 2nd stolen base of the year.
Boy, and he had a great jump on that pitch, Ted. He really got a great jump right off Fleming. And a pretty good throw, as you mentioned, by Coppinger, but nothing he could really do. Wallace bailing out as he should, so no interference by the hitter.
So runner in scoring position with 1 out. Top of the order coming up after Wallace, Jeff Wood. Wood had a homer in the first. Line drive foul down the left field line. He got way in front of that one. Hit it solidly, but foul.
Eric Fleming should be fortunate there's only 1 home run so far, because he's made some mistakes against these Township hitters, and they have just been ready to rip the ball, and many of them have pulled him foul down that left field line.
Center fielder Beebe moves over a couple steps towards left field on that hit. Inside for ball 4 now. Pickoff play at second. In safely is Price. So Wallace draws a walk. That is the 4th walk of the game for Fleming. So 4 walks total for Eric Fleming. And coming into this game, Fleming had 9 walks, as that brings to plate Jeff Wood, who homered in the first. Wood batting .312. That's low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. He leads the team in runs scored with 16. And moving the third baseman towards the second base bag a little bit. You can see him in your picture. He just moved outside for a ball, 2-0.
Notice the left fielder, Brian Biazzo, was just strolling a couple steps over towards his left, more towards the alley in left center field. But you have to be careful the way these Township hitters are getting around on these pitches. They've been pulling the ball down the line a few times foul, and of course the one-time fair for the home run. You don't want to stray too far away from that line if you're in left field.
Fleming from the stretch. That's low and outside for a ball. Well, he's keeping it low to his credit. You know, you can't keep those balls up high because they're going to burn you. He's keeping it a little bit too low right now.
Well, first and second, one out, as you mentioned, Ted. The key is not to make it too low. You don't want to load the bases up here with one out.
Just saw the runners. That was Price at second, Wallace at first. Just missing inside, so walking the bases is Eric Fleming. Is going to first base is Jeff Wood. That's the 5th walk of the game in 2 innings for Fleming. Bases are now loaded for DM Phillips. Phillips walked and scored, and here comes Coach K out of the dugout to go talk to Fleming.
I think Fleming is talking to Coach K right now and is feeling a little frustrated. I think he feels he had a couple of pitches that could have been strikes, and I think Coach Kozaneski right now is just trying to settle him down a little bit, saying, don't worry about it, just concentrate right here. He's saying, we really need you here. This is a big at-bat right now for DM Phillips with Mike Kerner on deck, bases loaded, 1 out. A big hitter for Fleming here because you don't want to have more trouble with Kerner on deck.
And it's tough when you're playing a team like Washington Township. As a pitcher, you want to try and do everything yourself. There's Coach K there.
Coach who?
Coach K, my father again.
There we go.
He's in trouble now. Bases loaded, 1 out. DM Phillips to the plate. He's walked and scored in this game. Phillips batting .428. Fleming's going to go from the windup. High and inside for a ball, 1-0.
First priority for Fleming here is to put it over the plate because he hasn't missed by much, but he has missed. And it's 2-2 right now with Mike Kerner on deck. He's got to go after DM Phillips.
You bet Kerner's chomping at the bit. He wants to come up with the bases loaded here. Here's the pitch. That's low for a ball. 5 walks in 2 innings. That's going to present a problem for Eastern. He's throwing a lot of pitches. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Pitch to Phillips. Line drive foul down that third baseline. Almost took up Coach Robinson down there.
Phil Robinson, although he almost got hit by that foul ball, is one of the main reasons why this Township offense has been a scoring machine this year. It helps to get tips from a guy like Bill Robinson if you're at this level, actually on any level. He's had that experience, of course, was the base coach for the '86 Mets that won the World Championship, and he has really done a great job with these Township hitters.
Don't forget about Coach Bush with all his years of experience lending into this one. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Probably a ball. It was up by his eyes.
And he knows it too. That ball was high, but it can be very tempting. Again, you see one pitch you can really get around on. Bases loaded, 1 out, a great opportunity.
Coach Bush is in his 22nd year here at Washington Township. Fleming got a little help, as we mentioned, on that pitch. Phillips in his .428 batting average in the box. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch, just missing high for a ball. Full count now to DM Phillips. That was a very close pitch.
Close pitch, but I think a good call. It broke over the plate. It looked like it broke over the plate, but actually was up a little high by the time it went, right before it went into the catcher's mitt. So a good call. Now it's full count.
Full count with 1 out. Bases jammed. Ground ball foul on that third base side again. Count remains full to DM Phillips. Coach Bush replacing some of the foul balls for the umpire.
There's a long run for somebody out there to get that foul ball.
Looking good, putting his hustling time out there. And look at that, good form. He just threw it in. Bases jammed. We're in the second. No runs in. Washington Township on the doorstep here. 1 out in the inning. Fleming ready on the mound. Here's the pitch to Phillips. High and inside for a ball, and Fleming with his 6th walk, walks in a run, is coming in to score as Roy Price.
So now Township with a 3-2 lead and a situation that no pitcher in his right mind would want to be in. Bases loaded, 1 out, a close game, and Mike Kerner coming to the plate, who of course walked his first time up.
And they're going to pitch real careful to this guy. This is one guy you've really got to watch up there. Tremendous power. Leads South Jersey with home runs with 7. 7 home runs. That's unbelievable. He has 28 RBIs, batting .629. He's only struck out 4 times this year. 5 doubles, 10 singles.
John Bush said of Mike Kerner that future professional athletes come along only once in a while, and he feels Mike Kerner is one of them.
First pitch to him. In there for a called strike. Kerner elected to hold back on that.
In fact, Mike Kerner was the only freshman to become an everyday starter for Bush 2 years ago, and as you mentioned, Ted, he is a junior. So everyone in Washington Township smiling at the thought of one more year with Mike Kerner.
Infield's up. Pop foul out of play. Pretty nice pitch as Kerner had to go down and reach for that one.
Well, that was a good breaking pitch by Fleming, as that really just had the bottom drop out. I'll tell you what, most hitters wouldn't even get their bat on that ball, and Kerner fouled it off, but he's in the hole here, 0-2.
This is where, as a pitcher, Fleming has to make a real smart pitch. He has a couple pitches to give here. They're going to get the sign in the dugout from the coach as to what it's going to be, but they can't put anything near the wheelhouse of Mike Kerner here. Infield's up, bases loaded, 1 run in the inning. Township leading at 3-2. Swung on and foul tipped. Just hanging in there is Mike Kerner.
Well, how about that for Russian roulette, Ted? Eric Fleming, a couple of breaking balls there, 0-2. He challenges Kerner with a fastball, tried to sneak it by him, and almost did.
South Jersey home run hit leader back in the box once again with 7 home runs. Pop foul, could be playable. Third baseman Guadagno running hard. Oh, he can't catch up with it. Tried to catch it on the run, made a nice effort for it, but couldn't quite catch up with it, and Kerner has second life. Kind of surprising here. Kerner's taking everything the opposite way.
Yes, he is. He's trying to be a little more patient, I think. I think you saw a couple of his batting mates batting from the right side, really anxious and just pulling the ball foul.
Kerner had in that 3 home run game that Ed did, he had a home run to left, center, and right, and he did have a grand slam in that game. Fleming so far pitching pretty good to Mr. Kerner. Here's the pitch. Just missing low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the ever-dangerous Mike Kerner. They play him pretty much to pull. Center fielder Beebe pretty way over out there in right center field, and right fielder Patriarca he's about 10-15 feet off the line, so if he can go to left field, he's got a lot of room. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. A big strikeout for Eric Fleming. It's only the 5th time this year Kerner has struck out.
I don't think Kerner was looking for the pitch he got. It was a good pitch over the plate for a strike, and Kerner just swung late on that and missed it. I think he was surprised by that. Again, 1-2. Give Fleming a lot of credit for deciding to go after Kerner and threw it right by him for a 3rd strike, and now it'll be up to Tim Huckle.
Huckle's flown out to center field, batting .351. Leads the team in at-bats with 37. Takes one low for a ball. He has 1 home run in the season, 6 RBIs. Huckle, the starting quarterback on this Washington Township football team. That says a lot right there. I was impressed just with the way he was able to kick the ball. Pitch to him. Outside and low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Mike and Tim Huckle, of course, starring in football here as well, and he was looking around for possibility for Force Life after high school for possible football. And Vanderbilt had been talking to him, and he said he might talk to Shippensburg as well.
Ground ball to shortstop Laconey, bobbles. That'll be an error on shortstop Bill Laconey. And coming in to score is Mike Wallace. It's now a 4-2 ball game. That's a ball that Laconey probably should have handled.
Well, it would have been a tough play if he had handled it, Tad. It was, you got to score that in error, but that ball's deep in the hole. And Laconey did a great job of getting to it, getting in front, but right there he just pulled his glove up a little bit, and that's when it hit off the bottom of the glove. He would have had a tough play at any base to try and get the out.
2 runs in the inning. Bases still loaded. This is Gary Barber, who's grounded out to second. Barber batting .333. First pitch grounded down to third. Guadagno knocks it down, throws to second just in time to get the sliding Tim Huckle. But 2 runs in on the inning. There were no hits, all the runs on walks. We're going to take a break here on Jones Intercable. Washington Township with the lead. Tad Kozaneski back with Ed Benkin on Jones Intercable Channel 13. Eastern against Washington Township. Eastern put 2 runs on in the first. Washington Township retaliated with 2 of their own in the first. Eastern went scoreless in the second. Washington Township with 2 of their own in the second. They lead it 4-2.
Be interesting to watch Stouse this inning. The first time he works with the lead, Ted, he came out strong in the second inning after a little bit of a shaky first. Went right after the 9th hitter for a strikeout, Gary Long, and then got a fly out, made a great pitch on Frank Schunerman to jam him over to the first base side.
4-2's your score. Hans Beebe to the plate. Hans led off that first inning, was the third batter, first to reach base. He walked in that inning. Beebe batting .433, 13 hits, 8 runs scored. He has 4 extra base hits, actually 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles, 2 triples. Says his most memorable experience was shutting out Cherry Hill East 5-0. He had 12 strikeouts in a game against Overbrook.
That was, of course, I think before this year's version of Cherry Hill East.
Yeah, that's correct. And he also mentions in Babe Ruth, one of his memorable games was against Washington Township when he struck out 14. So Beebe to lead things off in the third. Township with the lead 4-2. Hans from the left side. He plans to go to Camden County College. He's also a wiffle ball fanatic. In there for a called strike. I've seen Ed Benkin in the backyard playing that wiffle ball game from the left side.
That's a pretty fun thing, doing that wiffle ball thing. That's a lot of fun.
Fun if you can hit the ball.
This is true.
Foul out of play. 2 strikes quickly to Hans Beebe.
You know, you've got the wiffle ball where you got the guys who think, oh, let's have an easy game and lob it over. Then you got the guys who throw it as hard as they can and watch it dip at the last second, which can make it quite fun. But that's good. That's good for a lot of these hitters too, especially on this level. Really, for a lot of batters, when they take some swings of that, it helps them improve.
Beebe was an all-conference player as a junior last year. His brother was an all-conference player as a senior last year. Pitch to Beebe. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Beebe goes down swinging. That's the second strikeout of the game for Tim Stouse.
Starting to get the feeling now, Tad, after that 1-2-3 second, and now the strikeout here, that Stouse is really starting to get into one of those grooves right there. His location has been excellent the past inning and the third, and has mixed his pitches very well. He's now getting that good fastball to get in, and that's great when you throw a lot of breaking pitches over for a strike, and then even if you don't have the fastest fastball, you sneak it in there, it's very effective.
First pitch, Laconey is outside for a ball, 1-0. Laconey had a ground rule double down the left field line in the first. Laconey's batting .273, 9 hits, 12 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. Ground ball to third. This is Huckle. High throw, nice play by Barber down at first base. Gary Barber saved Huckle an error there.
Yeah, good play by Huckle to get over on that ball and just did not take his time on the throw. But Gary Barber, excellent defensive first baseman. Again, coaches love those big, tall first basemen who use their size. Watch the replay. Good job by Huckle to get it. Just a high throw there. Did not take his time. But Barber, when you've got that big target to throw over there at first base, it's not much of a problem.
This is Jeff Guadagno, a senior. He was hit by a pitch in the first. High and outside for a ball, 1-0. Guadagno batting .333, 4 runs scored, 10 hits, 6 runs batted in. Outside for a ball, 2-0. He plans to either go to Widener, Trenton State, Stockton State, or William Patterson. He's got them all lined up there.
Interesting if he goes to Stockton State. They don't have a baseball program right now.
I didn't know that. Popped up in the infield. First baseman Gary Barber calling for it. And Barber squeezed it for the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go the home half of the third. Washington Township with the lead, 4-2. Leading things off for Washington Township in the third is Chris Gervasi. Chris is senior. He's flown out to center field in this game. Gervasi batting .400. He has 6 official bats on the season. Fleming's first pitch to him. Line drive, left field, base hit. Smoked on a line out there. And that is a base hit for Gervasi. For Gervasi on the season, that's his 3rd single of the year.
You know, Ted, talking to some of the Township coaches before the game, there you get a look at the replay, just took that pitch right into left field. Gervasi hadn't really done a lot of DHing during the year, and then they kind of worked out a system. They had him DH for the first time the other day. And he did fairly well. He hit the ball hard a few times, so they're going to work out a deal where they're just going to rotate some of their designated hitters.
I believe this is Vicente that's going to come in and run. Let's see if we get his first name. I have it over here somewhere. And That's Andy Vicente, number 12, who's going to come in and run. I don't know if he's going to re-enter. We're going to have a re-enter with that or not.
Well, John Bush is out there talking with the umpire, and he's got a scorecard out. You usually don't see that for the courtesy runner, so I'm wondering if he's going to do more than just pinch run for him.
See if we can get you some stealing stats on Vicente. Vicente has stolen 2 bases this year. Here's Roy Price now. Roy's a junior. He walked and scored in the second. Price batting .240. Go to first base in safely is Vicente.
Gervasi with no stolen bases on the season, so that might be one of the reasons Vicente's out there. It's a 4-2 game here, and if you're Township, you're thinking our pitcher Tim Stouse is getting into a good groove. You want to pick up another run here.
Inside for a ball, 1-0 to Price. In the third inning, 4-2, Township with the lead. Ground ball nubbed, fair or foul. It's going to roll foul down that first base line. Price got a little in front of that, got it off the end of the bat. Price is a pretty good sized young man out there.
Yeah, this Township lineup is big. They do not have too many small players on their team, and that is intimidating. Remember when the Oakland A's were dominating for a while in the late 80s, and you've got a big lineup up there. It looks menacing.
Runner stealing, pitch out on, throw to second base. The catcher hesitated and double clutched in a stolen base for Vicente. So Vicente stealing. Coach K read that one all the way, called the pitch out. Coppinger double clutched on the throw and then made a high throw.
I don't know why Coppinger double clutched. The runner wasn't in his way. He must have had a little trouble picking it up out of his glove or something, or getting a grip on it, because as you mentioned, Coach K had that one all the way. Watch the replay right here. And see him just, I think when he took it out of his glove, Ted, he didn't get a good grip on it with his bare hand right away, and that resulted in the pause and then the high throw.
Price pitched to him. Popped up deep down the left field line. That's going to hook foul. A towering fly ball to left field. But hooking foul, about 20 feet foul down that left field line. You see the left fielder Biazzo retrieving that one. He got all over that one.
And then the people down on that left field side have really had a busy day. Now John
we may
Bush
have
is talking
catcher's
about
interference. I don't know if we have that in the truck or not. They may be calling catcher's interference on that. Yeah, they are going to call catcher's interference. So on catcher's interference, Roy Price goes to first. We'll see if we have a view for you on that, if we can pick it up. There you see the catcher, Coppinger. Let's see, do we have one, guys?
Even though it was a foul ball, that I'll tell you what,
okay.
that's Tad, I'll tell you what, for being interfered with by the catcher, he really got a good rip on that ball, even though he pulled it foul.
That's amazing. Look out, if he didn't have catcher's interference, that would have been back in the woods. Jim Fletcher to the plate, runners at first and second, nobody out. Fletcher flew out to left field. Fletcher with a .458 batting average takes one inside. Catcher's interference, if you're not familiar with it, is when the batter swings and makes contact with either the catcher, most likely with the catcher's glove. The umpire called it, so it's automatic free base for Price. So he's on first on catcher's interference. You don't see that very much, Ed.
No, it's interesting. I don't believe the home plate umpire called it right away, but then John Bush made his case, and it appeared to be the correct call. There seemed to be no argument from your father over there in the other dugout.
Well, he's not one to get all over the referees, or the umpires. The kids are out here to play. The umpires are here to do their job. Everyone makes mistakes. Not that that was one there. You just have to kind of tune the umpires out and let them call their game. At first base, Seneca's up real tight at first, looking for a bunt. Fletcher is around. Oh, it gets by the catcher. There's a freebie as the runners move up. It got by Coppinger. That'll be a pass ball on catcher Ed Coppinger.
Not the best of days for Coppinger right there. And I'm not sure, but I think he might have been a little bit distracted by Felicia squaring around the bunt. Of course, if you try to square around the bunt, you step on home plate, you're out of there. But Felicia avoided that, but still kind of almost provided a screen there a little bit.
Runners at second and third now. Nobody out. This is Jim Fletcher, that's it. Infield up. They need to shut off the run. There's a line drive into left center field. Beebe chasing it. He's there, makes the catch. Tagging at third base will be Vicente. Vicente's going to score, and it's a 5-2 ball game on the sacrifice RBI single by Jim Fletcher.
Well, this is John Bush, Washington Township baseball at its finest. He makes a switch to get a little more speed in there, works with the stolen base, then gets to third on the pass ball. Township, you don't want to give them chances like this. There you see the replay again, just a good solid drive into center field. A decent throw by Beebe, but getting back to Township, you don't want to give them opportunities right there. That pass ball just cost Eastern a run.
Mike Wallace has walked and scored in this game. Wallace batting .392, takes one high for a ball, 1-0. One ball and no strikes to Mike Wallace. Wallace, a junior. Pickoff play at second. Now they're going to call a balk on the mound. Eric Fleming saw the runner go. He wanted to throw it and then stopped. So a balk is called on pitcher Eric Fleming, and Eastern kind of self-destructing in this inning.
And that's exactly what happened there, Tad. You mentioned it. He just turned around, wanted to throw it to home, and then saw the runner to second, and he took that first motion towards home right before he turned around, and that's what cost him the balk.
Give you the example of self-destruction. At third base is Roy Price. Reached first on catcher's interference.
There it is again.
As we'll watch it again. There they called the balk. Price reached second on a pass ball, and now on third base courtesy of a balk. So he hasn't even swung the bat or done anything, and he's on third. Infield up again with one out. Low for a ball to Wallace. Two balls and no strikes to Wallace. We're in the third inning, one run in. 5-2, Township with the lead. Swung on, hit well into left center field. Back to the wall is Biazzo. That ball is out of here. Home run by junior Mike Wallace. Washington Township with two more runs on the board, and they now lead it by a score of 7-2.
Another mistake by Fleming, and Mike Wallace did not miss it. As you see him coming around towards home plate, he got all of that pitch, just drove it right in the gap in left center field. That's great to see from Mike Wallace again, a ninth hitter. Watch him again as he will get all this pitch. Pitches up there right around the wheelhouse right there, and Wallace got all of it and put it out for a home run. That's great to see for Mike Wallace, who has been having a fantastic year in that number 9 home. He picks up his first home run of the year, and again, a week ago, Mike Kerner was the only Township batter in the lineup with home runs. Now Wallace has one, Huckle has one, Wood has one today, and Roy Price had one yesterday. So when the rest of the Township hitters start hitting the long ball, you really have to worry.
Seems like they're getting in form as they get ready for the playoffs. That's a good sign for the Washington Township Ball Club. 7-2 is your score. 3 runs in the inning. We have one out. Jeff Wood, the plate, he has a homer in this game. He takes one inside for ball. He's homered and walked. Wood batting .312, leads the team in stolen bases with 9 and walks with 11. Just missing low, 2-0.
He's tried to come inside now twice with the fastball right there, and Jeff Wood so far not going after anything, and Fleming's got to bear down right here. He's making a lot of mistakes. He's got to just settle down here and put it over the plate and take his chances. Popped up in the infield, playable. First baseman Husenica in underneath, squeezes it for the second out of the inning.
2 down, that's it, 2 down.
With 2 down and a third, DM Phillips comes to the plate. DM has walked and scored and walked. 0 for 0 in this game. Phillips batting .428, has 15 hits, leads the team in doubles with 7, and has 11 RBIs. And these base on balls have really hurt Eastern so far. In fact, 3 of the 7 runs by Washington Township, 4 of the 7 runs have come in on walks. People who walked and then got on cross home plate after the walk. 2 outs in the inning, 3 runs in. Township leading at 7-2. We're in the third. First pitch to Phillips. Nice off-speed pitch for a called strike.
I don't know why Fleming, Ted, hasn't thrown that pitch more. We've seen him try to go to the fastball a lot. He's got a decent breaking pitch, and he just hasn't really taken much of a chance to get it over a little more. He really should.
Phillips with 1 strike to him. Just missing low. It's been a tough day for the pitchers out there. A lot of borderline pitches aren't going their way.
Again, though, the umpire is calling it consistently, and I think both coaches will tell you, unfortunately, what the pitchers might think. If they have a consistent strike zone, then both coaches will be happy.
Line drive into center field, falling for a hit. So a single for DM Phillips. That's his first hit of the game and his 9th hit of the season.
So the hit parade continues for Washington Township as DM Phillips comes through.
3 hits now in the inning, and the ever-dangerous Mike Kerner to the play as we look at it again. Nice piece of hitting up the middle. Kerner in this game has walked, and he struck out with the bases loaded. So I'm sure he's itching to get up there right now to do some damage. Kerner batting .629, leads South Jersey with 7 home runs. There's a ground ball hit to second baseman Schuneman, and it goes through him into right field, picked up by Laconi. So that'll be an error on Frank Schuneman.
Well, you talk about self-destruction, Tad, and if you do this in a game against a team like Washington Township, you're really asking for trouble. You don't want to give this team runs. This team is going to score enough runs on their own. There you just see a simple play, a bouncer, and I think Schuneman was kind of caught on what he was going to do. He pretty much had decided to go to second, but then kind of looked up too soon. That's what resulted in the error. Just took his eyes off that hop.
Tim Huckle, a senior, has flown out to center and reached base on an error by the shortstop Bill Laconi. Huckle batting .351. Low for a ball to him.
Great story about Tim Huckle. Of course, played football and basketball. He had entertained the thought of maybe not playing basketball, but he thought of his option. He decided if it would get him out of the house, away from all his younger brothers and sisters, it would have driven him crazy, he said, so he was very happy to get on the basketball court.
Ground ball down to third. Guadagno goes to second base. Now they try and go to first. They didn't have to go to first base as that was the third out of the inning. So score it 5-4 actually in the book, but 3 runs in the inning. There were 3 hits, 2 errors, 2 men left on base. We get set for action in the 4th. 7-2, Washington Township with the lead.
George West and Henry Cifalaggio, if you look below Mike Kerner and the home run leaders in South Jersey, is second.
Ed Coppinger for Eastern. He reached base by a walk in the first, takes one for a strike. Coppinger batting .115, has 3 hits in 26 at-bats, 4 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. Off-speed pitch just missed, and Coppinger, a senior, planning to attend St. Joseph's University.
I'm sure he'd love to get up there and do something to the plate because he has had a tough day behind the plate as a catcher so far today.
Takes one high for a ball. Sun coming back out here at Washington Township. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the 4th. Line drive foul down the left field line. All over that one, but hit it foul. We've seen a lot of balls hit foul down that left field line today. A lot of batters in front.
You got 2 pitchers here who throw a lot of off-speed stuff, and when batters feel like they're going to get around on one there, they have the tendency to swing early, and that's why we've seen a lot of foul balls by those right-handed hitters.
2-2 pitch coming to Coppinger. Curveball high for a ball, 3-2.
Still very bitter, Tad, that you have an ample supply of liquid refreshment.
There's plenty of water for you there. You can jump on the water.
It's not too warm from sitting out here in the sun for 5 hours now, is it?
Oh, you're going to complain, huh? That's low for a ball, ball 4. Coppinger draws a walk. So he's a leadoff base runner in the 4th. And that brings to plate Mike Husenica. Micah Jr., he walked in the first inning. Husenica batting .179. Has 5 hits and 28 at-bats, 2 runs scored and 5 batted in. Low for a ball, 1-0.
And Tad, Eastern is not out of this game yet by any means. It's only the 4th inning. As Stiles had pitched well, had retired the last 6 batters before that walk right there, but Eastern 5 runs down, but they've got 4 innings to work with here at the plate. They are not out of this game yet.
We're in the 4th, as Ed said. 7-2 Township with the lead. Popped up in the infield. Shortstop Jeff Wood calling for it. And there's one down.
Well, Tad, we talked about the good mixing of pitchers that South has done to keep him out of trouble here for the most part. He mixed a good fastball in there at the right time very well. Got it up and in a little bit. And Seneca popped out to shallow short, and that's what good pitchers do. When they get into a little trouble, when the leadoff hitter gets a walk, they dig themselves out of it. A great pitch right there for the first out.
Stephen Patriarca, Jr., has flown out to shortstop 0 for 1. In there for a called strike. Patriarca has no official batting average and no at-bats. Still, actually, he's 0 for 1 right now in this game. We'll call it 0 for the day. One strike pitch to him. Curveball in front of that. Swung on and missed for a strike.
That's a great breaking ball right there by Tim Stiles. Talk about the bottom dropping out. He pulled the string on that one, and Patriarca really didn't have much of a chance to hit that ball.
Patriarca, a 3-year soccer player. Plays baseball. This is his 3rd year. Line drive foul down that left field line. That's going to go out of play. He's chasing it is Wallace. He won't be able to catch up with that.
Well, Stiles came down and away a little bit for the last couple of pitches. That time he tried to sneak one inside. Patriarca did a good job of getting around it, but as we've seen all game so far, just pulled foul down that left field side.
Ground ball to shortstop Wood. Could be 2. He bobbles. Sliding in safely at second base is Coppinger. So that'll be an infield error. Credited to Jeff Wood.
That's a tough play right there. I think Wood for a second thought that Tim Stiles was going to get that ball, and I'm not sure. As we look at it again, Stiles just couldn't get in that ready position in time. It was right around him, and then Wood charged that, and I think he was still thinking as that ball is coming, am I going to go to second? Am I going to go to first? Do I have a better shot one way or the other? And it's that little lack of concentration cost him the play.
Gary Long, a senior, struck out in the 2nd. High and inside for a ball. Gary plans to go to North Carolina Wesleyan College.
Tad, this is a key batter here for Eastern. Gary Long, as you mentioned, has been struggling during the year. He struck out his first time up.
He officially has no average either. High and inside for a ball, 2-0.
He was 0 for 10 coming into this game, and he struck out his first time at bat, so he's 0 for 11. But it's a big boost for Eastern here with 1 out if he can do something, a walk or get on base somehow.
Low and outside for a ball. He wants to become a state trooper or a drug enforcement agent. Good luck to him with that.
I'm going to be very careful about talking about that non-batting average from here on out.
Runners at first and second, 1 out. Just missing outside, drawing a walk on 4 pitches is Gary Long, and that loads the bases for the top of the Eastern order.
Well, we've talked about self-destruction. We've seen it from the Eastern side of the field. Township this inning, though, an error, and then a walk right there by Tim Stiles to the number 9 hitter. And now the bases are loaded, 1 out, and you go back to Biazzo at the top of the order. Eastern has to get something here, Tab, with 1 out here, down 7-2, but again in the 4th inning, this is the inning where they have to get at least 1 run across.
Biazzo, a junior, 0 for 2 in this game with 2 flyouts, takes one high for a ball, 1-0. Biazzo batting .353, 12 hits, 8 runs scored, 4 RBIs, as Price comes out to talk to Stiles.
Trying to settle him down a little bit there as he's thrown 5 straight balls. And now Biazzo going over to talk to Coach K.
As we look at Biazzo, he enjoys playing wiffle ball too and hanging out at Echo Pizza. I'm very familiar with that place. It's out in Voorhees. I live out in Voorhees, and real neat place, that Echo Pizza.
Dad, just the P word has just made me quite hungry.
Bases loaded, 1 out. In there for a called strike, 1-1.
Big pitch right there by Stiles. And we've seen that so many times. A pitcher having some control problems, throws 5, 6 straight balls. His catcher comes out, has a little chat with him, comes right back, throws a strike.
Eastern needs to get some runs on the board. They trail at 7-2. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Stiles. Line into center field, playable. Kerner might have a shot at the plate. He squeezes. Nice arm as he hits the cutoff. Here's the play of the plate. They hold it. Oh, and they have a runner picked off. They pick him off at second base. The run will score. Coppinger will come in and score. Picked off at second base was Steve Patriarca on a beautiful fake. I believe that was Barbara. Great play out there, Ed.
That was a weird play all around, Tad. What happened on that play, first it looked like there was a delay there by Coppinger. He started, stopped, and then went again.
This is Gary Barbara to the plate. Gary had that outstanding cutoff play for the 3rd out of the inning. Now the umpire's getting checked out for his leg. He might have pulled a muscle. And they tell us the other player warming up would be number 5, junior Dom Vital.
Tad, this is the time of the year, of course, with the restrictions of innings you're allowed to pitch per week, where coaches have to be very careful right here on how well they use their pitchers, how much they use their pitchers. So John Bush, of course, has been through this for a long time. He's very experienced in that.
Barbara's grounded out twice. First pitch to him is in there for a called strike.
And Stouts, again, only giving up 1 hit, but he has thrown a lot of pitches. He's ran into some trouble in some of the innings, ran a lot of deep counts, has walked some hitters, so we'll see how long he stays in.
Fleming has 6 walks of his own on the mound. There's one in there for a called strike. Barber batting .333, has 1 double and 2 triples. Eric Fleming trailing in this game 7-3. There's one low in the dirt. Nice stop by Coppinger.
And Township, maybe they're a little disappointed, Tad. They're 4 runs under their average here at this point.
Yeah, what Ed's referring to is they average 11 runs per game, number 4 in South Jersey in that stat. They are the number 2 team overall in South Jersey. Swung on and missed, strike 3 as Barber's in front of that, so he strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Well, you know, pitching could be all concentration if you take a look at Eric Fleming on the day, Ted. He's had some instances right there where he struck out Mike Kerner, he struck out Gary Barber on some real tough pitches. And then other at-bats with different hitters, he just does not look the same. He's been hurt a little bit in the field, too, a couple of errors, and he's given up the long ball twice.
This is Andy Vicente. He pinch ran in the 3rd. Takes one low for a ball.
John Bush wanted to keep all his players sharp, and he does a good job of getting a lot of people some time off the bench.
Vicente batting .310. He has 2 doubles, 9 runs scored. 2 balls and no strikes.
Vicente has started a lot this season. In fact, picked up a couple of runs in that game against Edgewood last week. 2 for 4 on the day on that one.
2-0 pitch to Vicente. Just missing low. 3 balls and no strikes. That was a borderline pitch.
Again, the umpire's calling things consistently more than anything else. He's got a tight strike zone today, and Tim Strauss has been able to work through it, and Eric Fleming is not so far.
Just missing outside, ball 4. So drawing a walk is Vicente. That's the 7th walk given up by Eric Fleming.
Now we've got Roy Price, who's coming up. He scored a couple of runs, but doesn't have an official at-bat. Had that wacky catcher's interference last time up.
Reached base, catcher's interference, reached 2nd on a pass ball, reached 3rd on a balk, and then scored. 7-3 is your score. Runner going. Throw down to second base. Late is stealing second base is Vicente. Vicente on the year now with 4 stolen bases. He has 2 in this game.
Well, Tad, one thing we've seen with Township, we saw it last week against Edgewood, we've seen it all year. This is a team that does not sit back on a lead, and which is good, especially right now against a team. Watch the replay again. Team like Eastern, which is still in this game, a decent throw, but late. Township is a definite go-for-the-throw team, Ted. They do not sit back. They like to run. 4-run lead, 5-run lead doesn't make a difference.
Inside for a ball. Price batting .240. He has 4 singles, 1 triple, 1 home run, and 6 RBIs. Price a junior. Only 3 seniors in the Washington Township lineup. Low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Roy Price. Runner on second base is Andy Vicente. He walked and stole second. We're in the 4th. 7-3, Township with the lead. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball down the third base line, just foul down that third base line. Might have been fouled by a couple feet as it passed over the bag high in the air, but foul.
Didn't miss by much, but it was a foul ball. Roy Price, the guy, I mean, he gets his hits too, and that's a big plus for this team. Coming in, only batting .240, but he's gotten his hits. The big thing about Price, he's an excellent defensive catcher. He is terrific at blocking the plate. He's got a good, solid arm. Anything he does at the plate is a bonus, especially with the lineup in front of him.
2 balls and 2 strikes to him. Pick-off play at second base. They might have him. Nice catch out there by Schoenemann. Almost picked off at second base was Vicente. And had that not been, that was a good throw and a nice catch, but if he could have kept his feet, they might have had a pick-off there.
The throw actually beat Vicente back to the bag, but it was a tough ball. It was a good job by Laconi to handle that ball, but to be able to turn around and tag Vicente was just too much to ask.
Ground ball down to third. Guadagno can't grab it. It's into left field for a hit. Rounding third and scoring will be Vicente. Going into second base now. Play for second. Safe. I don't know if you're going to score that a single in advance down there by Price. They threw the ball for some reason to third base. A mental mistake out in left field.
And Ted, that ball was hit, and not a real easy play for Guadagno, but it almost seemed like he was kind of lackadaisical going after that ball. He just kind of stepped over, kind of lazily reached his glove down and bounced right under it. Watch it again. Now watch the third baseman. I watch for this ball. Said, look at him kind of slide over a little bit. I got it. No, I don't got it. As it goes under his glove. I think if he moved a little harder on that ball, he might have had it.
Fletcher to the plate. Fletcher slide out and had a sacrifice RBI. 0 for 1. Fletcher batting .458. Outside for a ball, 1-0.
Fletcher has come through several times this year with some big hits on this team. Again, he comes into this game with a .458 average. Does a lot for this team.
Has 11 singles. That leads the ball club. No extra base hits. Ground ball down to third. Guadagno has a play again. Now he goes to first, throws it away at first base. Now we'll see if they're going to have a play at home. No, Price is going to hold. Guadagno fielded the ball cleanly at third. For some reason, he hesitated. He watched the runner running from second to third, and then he threw the ball away, kind of threw it sidearm to first base.
Well, Tad, a lot of that is, again, the aggressive style the Township plays. Watch the replay. Now, he knows the runner from second is going to come to third as soon as he uncorks that pitch. You saw that the runner, Roy Price, was on his way. Township loves to do that, and I think that forced Guadagno into the bad throw.
Fletcher has a big lead at first base. Fletcher, that's it. I have trouble spitting that out. He has 2 stolen bases on the year at first base. First and third, 1 out.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Fletcher take off here.
There he goes. They hold and fake. They're going to give him the stolen base, I guess, on fielder's indifference. But we'll give it to him.
Eastern's going to have to take their chances with the batter at the plate right here. No reason to throw one down to second and possibly bring that run from third home. If you're Eastern, you got to wonder what's happening here. They get back in it a little bit with that run in the fourth. They make it 7-3, and then Township coming right back, getting that run back with interest as they pick up a run so far, and now they're in a position to score again with 2 runners on.
2 runners in scoring position for Mike Wallace. Mike has a homer in this game and 2 RBIs. There's a ground ball down to third. Guadagno, beautiful stop over to first, off the bag. He made a nice play at third base, but unfortunately pulled Husenica off the bag. We're going to score that an infield single for Mike Wallace, and a real nice try by Guadagno at third.
Well, that's a tough thing for Eastern right there. Fleming made a good pitch. And Mike Wallace, they were playing the infield in to try and cut off the runner home. But Wallace, almost a hard swinging ball. Watch the replay again. See, the infield was in tight along the grass. Where Wallace put that ball, though, made it a real tough play, so he gets the infield hit.
And you could see clearly that Husenica came off the bag.
McGinnis for Wallace.
So
I think
McGinnis
Mike Wallace
is now going to run for Mr. Wallace.
So Wallace leaves, and not a bad day's work if we count that as a hit. He's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and a home run. And Bill McGinnis will come in.
McGinnis is a senior. He usually plays shortstop. Bill McGinnis now in the game.
Now the 9-3 lead and another run in scoring position. We'll see if John Bush plays with his bench a little more here.
Jeff Wood, pitch out play, nothing on. They go back to first. In safely at first base is McGinnis. 2 runs in the inning. Fletcher's at third. At first base, pinch runner, Bill McGinnis.
Jeff Wood, of course, started the scoring off for Township in the bottom of the first with that home run.
Popped up into left field. Left fielder Brian Biazzo under. We're going to have a runner tagging from third. Hits the cutoff man. Play to second base. Sliding in safely in there was McGinnis. They had McGinnis dead at second base, but the ball was thrown low off the cutoff by Guadagno. So another run in this inning. That's 3 runs in the inning.
So now that makes the score 10-3 in favor of Washington Township. They've just about put this game away. McGinnis is going all the way, Tad, and they threw the ball to the cutoff, but still, Township, again, they really get you thinking out there with all that running they do, and they are a very aggressive team.
Here's DM Phillips to the plate. He's walked twice and singled. Phillips batting .428 with 15 hits. Leads the team in doubles with 7.
It's just a no-win situation when you go down this lineup. Mike Wallace, the number 9 hitter, comes through. Then you go back to Jeff Wood, top of the order, DM Phillips, and you got Mike Kerner on deck.
Nice block by the catcher, Coppinger. 3 runs in the inning, 10-3. Township with the lead. We're in the 4th. Only 2 hits in the inning. Foul ball off the Eastern dugout.
So Township pretty much has broken this one open here with the 10-3 lead. And
I had Fleming for 8 walks in 4 innings. Pickoff play. Ooh, they get him just. They did get him at second base. Picked off second base is Bill McGinnis, so there's one good thing for Eastern in this game. But 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was 1 error, nobody left on base. We're going to move to the top half of the 5th. 10-3, Washington Township with the lead. Junior Frank Schoeneman leads things off in the 5th. Frank is 0 for 2 in this game with a fly out to the pitcher and a fly out to first, batting .360. 9 hits, 10 runs scored, 4 batted in. Inside for a ball, 1-0. His nickname is Shoe.
Real original there.
Yeah, understandable with that last name of Schoeneman. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, 1-1. Way out in front of that, it was a nice off-speed pitch by Stouse.
Stouse has gotten stronger as the game has gone on, and he really has an effective breaking ball. He's been able to stick the fastball in at the right times, too.
1-1 pitch. Curveball high for a ball, 2-1. Looks like Eastern's going to get some action in their bullpen.
Throwing 3 straight breaking balls here, Ted. Let's see if he tries to stick the fastball by now.
High for a ball. It's 3-1. Keith Othenthal is warming up in the bullpen for Eastern. We used to have a couple warming up for Washington Township, too. So we may see some pitching changes coming up shortly. I see Gervaisi warming up. That's in there for a called strike. Gervaisi already out of this game, so he must just be throwing for some practice behind us. He can't enter this game.
I would be shocked if Mr. Gervaisi was not on the mound Saturday.
Yeah, for Cherry Hill West, no doubt about it. That's low, ball 4. Walking to lead off the 5th is Frank Schoeneman. Gervaisi, by the way, is one of the leaders in South Jersey in pitching. He's 4-0. Only 4 other players in front of him are 5-0.
I'm pretty sure John Bush's plan is to... Gervaisi's the ace of this team. They have a lot of good pitchers. Stouse is a good pitcher, but Chris Gervaisi is the ace of this ball club, so I'm sure they want him pitching against Cherry Hill West on Saturday.
Hans Beebe has walked and scored and struck out. 0 for 1 in this game. High and outside for a ball, so Eastern trying to get themselves back in this game. They trail at 10-3. We're in the 5th. Beebe batting .433, has 13 hits, 8 runs scored, 12 runs batted in.
And Eastern, again, without a few mistakes here or there, they could still be in this game right here, but they're trailing 10-3. It's a tall order against this Township team.
Takes one outside for a ball. Beebe hopes to go on and play college baseball, and if he gets a shot, to play pro baseball.
I think you know a little something about somebody. Speaking, as long as it's family, as long as it's the Kozaneski family day. I know you've got your dad over there in the dugout coaching for Eastern. Your brother's getting a little taste of professional baseball right now.
Yeah, my brother plays single A level ball for the Yankees. He's in his 2nd year. I'm leaving right after this game to go see him down in Greensboro, North Carolina. So who knows? Maybe 4 or 5 years you may see him in the Yankees pinstripes at the stadium. In there for a called strike. And don't forget, Mom's over there too with the picnic basket. So we've got everybody here today.
Just the thought of your brother, I would love to see him make the major league level, but I'm sure he's thrilled at the thought of having George Steinbrenner as his boss 4 or 5 years from now.
Well, they're turning it around a little bit this year. In there for called strike 2 to Beebe. I think Beebe wanted that pitch. A little surprised himself that he didn't swing at it.
Stouse, very simple here. There's no reason to try and get cute here. Just throw the ball over the plate. He's got a 7-run lead, a good defense behind him.
Beebe, a member of the Carpenter Cup team last year. Ground ball to second base, could be two. Phillips to Wood for one, back to first, double play. So Hans Beebe grounds into a double play. Nice turn from Phillips to Wood.
Perfect double play ball. And that was not as easy a double play ball as look. That pitch was hit slowly over towards second base, and Phillips did a good job. You could tell right there, that's the kind of thing that Township practices over and over and over again before the season starts to get it right. Phillips with the good flip. Watch the replay right here. Phillips charges or sits back a little bit, then does the nice little flip, and a good throw right there by Jeff Wood. He charged that ball a little bit, stepped up, then stopped, got in position for the double play.
First pitch to Laconey, line drive into left field, in there for a base hit. So the junior Bill Laconey has both hits for Eastern today. Laconey has a double and scored, and now he has a single. He's a 2 for 3 on the day, in case you were wondering. Laconey was coming into this game batting .273.
He's gotten on base a lot. He's got 12 runs scored, which leads this Eastern club. The Vikings here, you can see why that double play hurts them right here. They had a chance to maybe play a few runs here and maybe have one last chance to get back into it, but now bases almost empty, runner on first, 2 out.
Jeff Guadagno, senior, ground ball down to third. This is Huckle, easy play to second, and that does it here for action in the 5th. But the key play in that one was a double play from Phillips to Wood to Barbara. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We move to the bottom half of the 5th. Washington Township with the lead, 10-3. So Phillips, a junior, to lead things off for Washington Township. First pitch from Laconey. Got some nice speed, but throws it low there. You can see the difference in his speed between the other 2 pitchers. Just got to throw it over the plate, though.
Makes a very big difference if you can get the ball over the plate. Laconey, as you mentioned, with the 2 hits on the day so far.
That's missing low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Phillips.
There you see the situation. 2-0 the count, base is empty, a 10-3 lead for the Minutemen.
Line drive down the right field line. That's going to fall. Played by the right field Patriarca, right fielder, and holds Phillips to a single. So Phillips in this game is now 2 for 2.
And that's just a great piece of hitting right there by Phillips. He really went with that pitch well. Really sound fundamental hitters. Again, Bill Robinson and John Bush really doing a great job with this club. And now Mike Kerner coming up to the plate. An off day for Mike, I guess you could say. Officially 0 for 2. Has struck out, reached base on error. Did walk in the first inning.
Kerner batting .629, 28 RBI, 7 home runs. That leads South Jersey. Has 10 singles, 12 runs scored. Coney has his work cut out for him with this man. Outside for a ball. That was a changeup there outside. Mike Kerner, an outstanding athlete, only a junior. They play him heavily to pull to right field. There's a pickoff play in safely as Phillips.
Came back to Mike Kerner. He's got a lot of his natural ability from his father, Ted, who played at Gettysburg College and was in the Atlanta Braves organization with Bill Robinson. So his dad and Bill Robinson getting together really made Kerner a formidable hitter.
Runner stealing. Throw from Coppinger down to second. Nice throw, but in stealing is D.M. Phillips as the shortstop Frank Schoeneman couldn't hold on to the ball.
And a good slide, too, right there by Phillips going to the outside part of the bag to get in there. And we talked about this again. Township, doesn't matter what the situation is, they don't let up. They go for the jugular. There you see the replay. And as you mentioned, Ted, Schoeneman just could not handle that ball, but I think Phillips beats that anyway.
Phillips' 5th stolen base on the year. High and outside for a ball. They're pitching carefully to Kerner. Kerner looks down to Coach Robinson, who gives him his signal. Foul out of play. He had the green light on that one. Seems like Kerner's been behind everything today, going the opposite way with it. I don't know if that's by design or not.
Well, he had a lift on his swing a little bit before he came into this season, and he worked on that. That's one of the reasons, since he's cut down the lift, why he's been able to drive the ball the opposite way as well.
Runner at second base is Phillips. He singled and stole second. There's a pickoff play. No throw. Just amazing how much he's been hitting the ball to left field all day long, but center fielder Hans Beebe is way over in right center field. And the right fielder Petriarca is about 20 feet off the right field line.
And he's real shallow in center field, Tad. As you see that pitch go up there. Hans Beebe, the center fielder, is playing fairly shallow in that right center field area. Now, Kerner drew the walk that time, but Mike Kerner gets a hold of one, it might not go that shallow.
It's almost in that situation you don't even mind walking Kerner with first base open. Tim Huckle, the senior now. Huckle in this game 0 for 2 with the fly out and the ground out. He also reached base on an error. Huckle batting .351. Nobody out, runners at first and second. In there for a called strike.
Tad, for the playoffs, I think maybe the key batter for Washington Township is going to be that guy you see right there on your screen, Tim Huckle, because Mike Kerner may not get that many good pitches to hit in the playoffs, so it's going to be up to him to have a big postseason.
Huckle kind of went after a bad pitch there. That was low and away. Huckle, one of the youngest seniors ever to play at Washington Township High School. That's got to be a little tough for him. Had he been born a few weeks or even a month, I believe, later, he would be a junior right now.
Huckle just turned 17 last February. Of course, quarterback the Washington Township football team to the Group 4 titles. They defeated Brick Township for the championship.
I really like the way he kicked the ball, too. He kicked the ball right off the scoreboard from like 30 yards out. I've never seen anybody in high school kick like this young man. Off-speed pitch, just missing outside for a ball.
I know Vanderbilt had talked to Huckle, and then Huckle really hadn't heard from them in a while, so he's not sure what's going on with them. And again, he had talked to Shippensburg. It's a guy who never played junior varsity.
Just missing outside again for a ball. Two tough pitches against Laconie, both called balls.
Huckle had been scuffling a little bit early in the year at the plate and hit that home run last week against Edgewood. Looked like he was finally going to come around a little bit.
Runners at first and second, nobody out. Runners go. Throw down to third. It goes way out into left field. Coming in to score now is Phillips. Problem on that play, Ed, there was the catcher Coppinger tried to throw over Huckle's head and threw it way over his head into left field.
Yeah, that was, I guess you could say that one sailed a little bit right there. As Phillips took off, given the stolen base and an error on the catcher. There you see the replay. No chance for Godagno to get that one.
Now on second base is Kerner. Nobody out. Huckle ready. Ooh, high and inside for a ball. Huckle draws a walk. So that's the second walk of the game for Laconie.
Well, when Bill Laconie came in, we noticed again how much harder he was throwing than Eric Fleming. But as you mentioned, Ted, you got to get it over the plate. After the single, he's walked two batters. Not the worst batters in the world to walk in, Kerner and Huckle, but still not more trouble. Still nobody out for Township here in the fifth.
Gary Barber has struck out and grounded out twice, 0 for 3, batting .333. Has one double. Ooh, right at him. He gets out of the way. That'll clean your cobweb there a little bit.
Little chin music, as they say. And these Township hitters have seen a couple of pitches now come inside.
Laconie, out of the three pitchers that we've seen out here, has pretty good velocity. Just having trouble finding the plate. He's faced three batters, given up a single and 2 walks, and a run. That's high and inside for a ball. 2-0.
Laconie is trying to work this dangerous middle of the lineup for Township inside the plate. He tried to do the same thing for Huckle, as we saw, and for Mike Kerner. And he's not been able to get that inside pitch over.
That's high for a ball. Laconie really struggling out there. There was some work going on in the Eastern bullpen, but now they've sat down. First and second, nobody out in the fifth, 1 run in. That's low. Nice block by the catcher. Everybody goes down. We'll take a quick break here on Jones Intercable. And we're back here on Jones Intercable. Andy Vicente, the plate. Andy has walked and scored. First pitch to him is in there for called strike. Bases loaded, nobody out. New pitcher Bill Laconie has walked 3 and given up a single. The infield is up. There's a curveball high and outside, 1-1. 11-3 is your score. Vicente back in the box, pitch to him. Swung on and missed for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to him.
And Ted, George Basante is now running at first base for Gary Barber, wearing number 9.
One ball and 2 strikes to Vicente. Off-speed pitch missing outside. Caught Vicente off stride there. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And again, nobody out in this inning. And Eastern's at a point now there where they're down 11-3. They've really just got to keep things from getting real ugly.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. So that's the first out of the inning as Vicente goes down swinging. We're going to have another pinch hitter coming up for Washington Township. This will be number 8, Drew Colligan.
Number 8, Colligan for Price. Colligan for Price.
So there you hear it. Drew Colligan comes into the game.
Drew Colligan is the number 2 catcher on this team, and he's come in a lot of times in situations where Township is up big and spelled Roy Price. Of course, you want to keep your catcher fresh for the stretch drive coming up, and especially, once again, dare we say, the game of the year in the Olympic American on Saturday when Cherry Hill West takes on Washington Township. That should be a great ball game.
Colligan batting .666 in 3 officials at bats. He's 2 for 3 in there for a called strike. He has 2 runs scored. Both his hits were singles. And he also has a sacrifice. He's walked 3 times. Bases jammed for Drew Colligan. 1 out in the inning. Off-speed pitch outside for a ball.
Haven't seen him try to throw that breaking ball that much. It's got a nice break to it, as we just saw right there, but broke a little too much out of the plate.
Swung on and missed for a strike, went for a ball outside. Infield still in for Eastern. They trail at 11-3. Washington Township showing why they're the number 4 team in South Jersey. Curveball, he went around. So back-to-back strikeouts for Bill Laconey. He has a chance to get out of a bases-loaded jam here. Now we're going to have another pinch hitter, Ed.
They're emptying the bench at Washington Township, but that was a tough pitch that he just threw to Colligan.
This is Pete Story coming to the plate. So we're getting a good chance to look at everybody on Washington Township. That's kind of good for the Story family now. They get a good look at Pete here. Story batting .857, 6 for 7 on the year with 3 RBIs. He's only made 1 out. He's played in 8 games. So all kinds of changes for Washington Township. 2 outs in the inning, bases loaded. They lead at 11-3. Low for a ball, gets away from the catcher. Coming in from third base is Kerner. Head first, slide in safely. Gotta like that head first slide into home plate.
11-3 game. Mike Kerner still going hard. Might have been looking pretty for a home plate camera right there, but that was a nice slide down into home plate. But I mean, that's this Township team. They are always going hard, 100%. They're hustling. On that play, the catcher, Ed Coppinger, watch, it looks like he, as you can see right there, thought he had it and then didn't. There's that head first slide on replay from Mike Kerner. That's the way to get down and dirty, Mike.
Really impressed with that young man. Great all-around athlete, Mike Kerner. Ground ball up the middle, the shortstop Schoeneman. Schoeneman throws to first, and Eastern does get out of the inning, but not without some damage. There were 2 runs in the inning on 1 hit. 2 men left on base. We're going to move into the top half of the 6th inning. Washington Township leads at 12-3. Believe this should be Ed Coppinger, unless we have a pinch hitter here. I believe we do have a pinch hitter, though, Ed. We've got to get a number on him. Outside for a ball, number 13.
That is Mike Mafoda now batting.
So Mafoda, this is the first time we had a chance to look at Mike today. Takes one for a ball. Mafoda batting .429. He has 7 at-bats, 3 hits, 1 run scored. He's a junior. So all kinds of changes coming in here for us. Outside for a ball. New pitcher Dom Vitale, new catcher Drew Colligan. Batter's a pinch hitter Mike Mafoda. Inside for a ball, and he walks on 4 pitches. So Mafoda's on first base. Nobody out. He leads things off here in the 6th. Mike Husenica, the junior, comes to plate. Husenica 0 for 1. He's walked and flown out to short.
It's interesting there, Tad, with the last batter, Ed Coppinger, getting a break. He has not really had the best of days. He did walk twice at the plate, but really had a tough time behind home plate today, and I think that's the reason why Coach Kozineski decided to let him take a couple innings off here.
Nice scoop in there by the catcher. Husenica batting 179.
There you see the situation. 1-0 the count. Nobody out. Runner at first base for Eastern. But a long way to go as they are deep in the hole against Washington Township, trailing 12-3.
That's low for a ball. So Vitale struggling out there. It comes in with an 0 ERA. No runs giving up in 3 innings of pitch. And as you said, Ed, he's walked 2, struck out 1. So he really hasn't been tested thus far. Kickoff play at first, back in safely is Mafoda.
Again, it's important, Ted, that Dom Vitale is ready because, again, come playoffs or come stretch drive, there may be in a situation, even if it's only the one batter or two, they're going to need him in there to make a big pitch.
That's in there for a called strike. First strike by Vitale this inning.
I think the key to that pitch, we saw the first couple of pitches, Vitale was kind of like dragging his arm through the follow-through almost, and that time he really followed through, kept the arm out in front.
That's high for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike to Mike Husenica. We're in the 6th inning. 12-3, Washington Township with the lead. They have 7 hits with those 12 runs. That's in there for a called strike. They've left 8 runners on base in 5 innings. Full count to Mike Husenica. There's the full count pitch from Vitale. Ground ball, could be 2. Fielded by Vitale. Throws to short. Nice tag out there. It was a wild throw. Wood made a nice job to tag the runner sliding into second base. So there's 1 out in the 6th. As Husenica will reach base on a fielder's choice.
Watch it again here, Ted. A nice play by Vitale, but you mentioned the big play right there by the shortstop, Jeff Wood, as he had to swing around to get the throw, then turn around for the tag. Vitale was probably happy there to get the out at second, but that situation, if it's going to be close, don't need to force it. You're up 12-3. You usually just go to first base, but Jeff Wood making the great play.
This is Tom Kalick, a pinch hitter. Tom has 3 at-bats this year without a hit. He's batting for Steve Patriarca. Patriarca was in right field. 1 out, a runner at first. Ground ball up the middle, could be 2. Phillips going to step on the bag, throws to first. It is a double play. So 1, 2, 3 goes Eastern in the 6th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We're going to move to the home half of the 6th. Eastern trails Washington Township by a score of 12-3.
I'm sure he'd like to forget about that if he got caught on that pickoff play, but again, a good pickoff play that time by the Vikings.
McGinnis has 2 at-bats and no hits on the season. He takes one for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to McGinnis. We're in the 6th. Nice curveball, but low, 1-1. Had a lot of break and bite to that one.
He's got a good curveball. He's got a lot of good movement on that pitch, but needs a little more work to get over the plate a little more, because if he can mix that curveball in with this heat and get him over the plate, he's going to be tough.
Pop up in the infield, called by the first baseman, Husenica. Husenica squeezes, and there's 1 down. Actually, that was Jack Jewell. Jack Jewell is the new first baseman. So we check him out. Husenica comes out. So that's Jack Jewell, new first baseman. Now we're going to have a new third baseman. His third baseman is going to come out. It'll be number 2. This is Keith Yablonicki.
Keith Laboniki now going over to third base.
It's Yablonicki, like Y-A-B.
Like Yao, this is really starting to scribble up our score sheet.
Well, it's good. It's good that both coaches, realize the game's a little bit out of hand. Let's get everybody a chance to get some TV time today. So we'll get a good chance, get a good look at everybody here today.
Especially for the younger players, it's a good chance to get that experience before they start playing a little more the next couple of years.
Pitch to McGinnis. Curveball in there for a called strike. Coney with a nice breaking ball. Washington Township has put runs on the board in every inning in this game. Outside for a ball. They have 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. That's low on the curveball. Nice block by Mafota to get out in front of that one.
And doing just the fundamental thing for the catchers. A lot of catchers try that scoop a lot, which just will not do it. You want to get your body in front of the ball, and that's what he did on that pitch.
Outside for a ball, gets away from Mafota. We're in Washington Township. I'm Tad Kozaneski along with Howard Clark on Jones Intercable.
With
Eastern
who?
against Washington Township. What? Oh, I said Howard Clark. I said
who?
Well, there's a bad habit for you.
Boy, you totally threw me off on that one. I thought I had a name change. Where did that come from?
I apologize. Of course, I'm sitting here with your sports anchor, Ed Bacon, who does the 7 o'clock sports on Channel 13. Does an outstanding job. There we go. Now we correctly credit Ed. I totally apologize to you, Ed. It's been that kind of day thus far. There's 1 ball 4 walking.
First, you're well
McGinnis.
supplied with beverages from your family, with your dad coaching in one dugout and your mom over with the picnic basket on the bench, and then you don't even get the name right. Tad, I don't know. I'm hurt. I know that. I'm also thirsty.
Jaminski. Now they have him. They're calling number 18. He's wearing uniform number 7. That's usually what Phillips wears. Now they say Jaminski.
Jaminski's going to run at first base, Tad. He's going to replace Jeff Wood.
Okay.
So DM Phillips is the batter, but we'll see Szymanski running for Jeff Wood, and we'll probably see him at shortstop next inning.
Jaminski's first name, do you have that here?
Scott Szymanski.
Oh, Scott Szymanski. So he walks for Wood. Back to first base. All right, I think I have it here. Let's see if we have any stats on him. There he is.
Szymanski on the air at the top of the Township.
1 for 1. Batting 1,000. Line drive hit well into center field. Retreating is the center fielder. Going back, that falls into open spaces. Heading around third and going to score in at third base now is McGinnis. And a triple right there by Jeff Wood. He smoked that ball. That was DM Phillips, I believe, actually.
That was, and how about that Scott Szymanski? He comes in, and then the first pitch, he comes around first base to score, gets a workout there, but DM Phillips just got all that pitch. That one was hung out over the plate, and he got around on it nicely, and he gets a triple out of it.
So McGinnis scores 1 more run in the inning. They're checking out their stats here over our shoulder.
We are being surrounded by the Washington Towns, I guess the heart of their lineup right there. There you see the replay. That one goes all the way to the fence, and Szymanski gets a quick workout coming in, going around 3 bases to score.
DM Phillips at third. 1 run in the inning, no outs. 13-3, Township with the lead. New pitcher, Chris Dolan. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Mike Kerner, only a junior, leads all the South Jersey, hitters with 7 home runs. 1-0 pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-0.
And the sky is the limit for this young man. Again, as you mentioned, a junior, still has another year to go, but he does it all. He's done it in football. He stopped playing basketball because he wanted to do track instead. He figured that would get him in better shape for football and baseball.
Inside for a ball, 3-0.
I can surely attest with the rest of the Channel 13 crew that goes huffing and puffing on basketball every Friday evenings. And basketball's a pretty good workout, too.
They're going to let Kerner swing away here, so if he gets something he likes, he can take a hack with the 3-0 here. Inside for a ball, and that's the third walk of the game for Mike Kerner. And that's going to happen to Kerner a lot. As you mentioned earlier, the last time we saw Kerner, their teams just are not going to pitch to him, as we're going to get a pinch runner for Kerner.
35, Prettyman, 35.
That is Chris Prettyman, who of course pitched well for Township yesterday, got the victory with 10 strikeouts. He's going to run for Mike Kerner.
This is Tim Huckle. Huckle 0 for 3. Grounded out, flown out, reached base in an error, and walked. He's only one of 2 players for Washington Township who haven't scored. Barbara or Passante, who is batting for Barbara, hasn't scored either. Swung on and missed for a strike. Huckle was way in front of that. This is the case now when the game's out of control like this is, and you're hitless, you tend to get a little frustrated. That's what Huckle did there. He wants to do it all with one swing, gain it all back.
Because again, he has the big game coming up in 2 days with West and the playoffs coming up. It's a tough feeling for a batter, even when you win a game like this big. Don't let them fool you with, I mean, they're happy that their priority is still to see the team win, but it can bother when you take an 0 for 4 in a game like this.
Outfield moving back now for Huckle. Huckle's the only starter besides Phillips who's still in the game. He'll probably come out after this at bat, low and outside for a ball. So it's a long day here in Washington Township.
Good day to catch some sun. It's nice to get some 80-degree weather here. The weather is definitely warming up.
Outside for a ball.
Like Huckle, sometimes you see him talking to himself up there, just swinging after a bad pitch. He just has to relax up there and just enjoy himself a little bit here. Concentrate and step into that pitch.
Line drive base hit down the left field line. That'll be extra bases as it rolls off the fence in left field. Huckle's going to go into second base standing up. Scoring on the play is D.M. Phillips. So another run in the inning, and it's now a 14-3 game.
Well, that's what we just mentioned. He has to just kind of relax in there, and he did, and he stepped into that pitch. You really want to drive your lower body into a pitch like that, and he did, and he smashed it down into that left field corner. And that's great for Tim Huckle because, again, I think he's going to be a key batter in the playoffs for Washington Township.
Here's George Passante. First pitch to George is high and outside for a ball.
There it is again. He just smashed that into the left field corner. No problem there for D.M. Phillips to come in and score. And now with Prettyman on third and Kerner on second, 1 out. More trouble for the Vikings.
Missing for a ball.
And a little bit of dirt kicking action right there by Chris Dolan. I don't think he was happy with that call.
Well, in a game like this, you hope you can get anything you can get. That's low for a ball. Nice block by the catcher, Mafoda. Mafoda's going to come out and talk to Dolan.
Come on, dog. Concentrate, babe. Come on, dog.
Washington Township looking outstanding. They're in good form for that game coming up against Cherry Hill West. Cherry Hill West is the #2 team in South Jersey in the Courier Post. Washington Township, the #4 team. That game's going to be a tremendous battle.
Saturday, 11 a.m. It was originally scheduled for 2 days ago, and it was rained out. Excuse me, for yesterday.
Swung on a miss. So depending on whether you're watching this, you're either expecting the game tomorrow or you've watched it a day or two ago.
So you may know the outcome and we don't, but at this point, Washington Township has not played Cherry Hill West on a Saturday, so we will wait with you.
Popped up in the infield, playable. Jack Jewell, the first baseman there, and that's the first out of the 6th. Second out of the 6th. Thank you, Ed. Somewhere I missed an out. Who else made an out in this inning? McGinnis with an out.
Seemed like a long time ago, Ted. Believe me, you are forgiven. Another long inning here for Washington Township.
2 outs in the inning. Andy Vicente. Vicente, we have any stats on him? Vicente batting .310. He has 2 doubles. Low for a ball, 1-0. lot of pitches today have been borderline out there. That's low. Gets away from the catcher, Mafoda. Mafoda does a nice job of getting in front of the ball. You can see him get his whole body out there and squaring out in front and blocking the ball.
Yes, he has. And that time, even though the ball squirted through, he did a good job of getting most of it and keeping the runners from advancing right here. So he could be the catcher of the future for the Vikings.
Dolan's pitch. Inside for a ball. See if Vicente's going to get the green light. 3-0. He has the green light. Swung on and missed.
He knew he chased a low pitch there as you saw him shaking his head. Again, if you're a hitter, Vicente hasn't been slumping lately, but you're in this situation, you just want to relax, have a good time up there. You got to think the pressure's off a little bit here, 14-3. Just enjoy yourself.
Ground ball foul down the first base side.
So we talk about players pressing, and again, you have a bad day in a game like this, it can bear on you a little bit going into the next game.
As we mentioned, the Eastern Vikings have qualified for the playoffs due to a forfeit win they just received off Camden, so they will go at the cutoff 500, be one of the lower seeds in their group. Washington Township, of course, already in. There's a gapper in the center field. Dropping the ball out in center field is number 4, the center field. That's Ken Cavone. Sliding into second base with the double. Is that number 2 you're telling me, Ed?
That is 2 runs have come across the plate there.
2-run score.
And
2 more in. It's 16 now to 3.
And you can call that a double as well. That's just a tough play right there in center field. And you know your father over there in the Eastern dugout is very thankful that the timing could not have been better for that forfeit win against Camden today.
Yeah, they were fortunate to get that here, because otherwise this game would have been the one for the playoffs. So they're going to go in with a 6-6 record as Vicente picks up a double. Probably should have been caught, though, out in center field. Here's Colligan, first appearance by him. He fouls one off the screen. Colligan, a catcher, batting .666. Actually, is this the second at bat for Colligan, Ed?
Yes, it is. He struck out his first time up, and he took a tough pitch that first time, a real nasty breaking ball.
Colligan then would drop to 2 and 4 for his batting average, or 500. He lost 166 points with one at bat.
Well, Colligan has come in and spelled Roy Price nicely a couple of times this year. It was good to have that backup catcher ready.
We're in the 6th inning, 16-3, Township with the lead. Nice block again by Mafoda. I'm really impressed with the way he can block these balls getting in front of him. Chris Dolan, relief of Bill Laconey. Relief the starting pitcher, Eric Fleming. Line drive down the third base line. That's going to be extra bases. Coming around to score is Vicente. Heading into second base. Thought he had extra bases, but no, he elects to hold up. Vicente's going to score, and it's now a 17-3 game.
And that was a wicked line shot right there by Andy Vicente.
Got all over that.
Excuse me, by Drew Colligan, as he just ripped that one. That third base side, right in between the third baseman and that third base bag. Watch the replay again. Boom, right down that third base side. As that whole area has just looked like it's been sent there by a batting practice situation right there. As it's just been hit after hit after hit right down that line.
This should be Pete's story. He takes one for a ball, 1-0. Double check, make sure we have the right batter here. Yeah, this is Pete's story. He's a senior outfielder. 2 outs in the inning. It's in there for a called strike. If Story can get on, they've batted around.
Yeah, Story does make it the 9th hitter this inning, as we do have the Bill McGinnis pop out a long time ago for the first quick out.
Ground ball up the middle. Oh, off the glove. Schulman took his eye off it. Tough play out there. He should have had it. Schooneman took his eye off the ball, and that'll be an error on the shortstop.
This is a point here where the Eastern bench is getting restless. I mean, they know the game is over, but they want to play for some pride right here. They want to show they really put a lot into their uniform right here, and they just have lost their concentration right here. And Again, very fortunate that they got the forfeit against Camden to make the playoffs.
Bill McGinnis to the plate. 0 for 1 in the game. They batted around in the 6th. Ground ball to third. That's in the hole for a hit. Rounding third and coming into the score right now will be Colligan. As a throw, oh my God, Ed, I thought we were going to get drilled with that one. I thought we were going to get drilled as the throw came into the plate. Colligan comes in to score, and it's now a 17-3 game. So this is one of those anything that can go wrong will go wrong games for Eastern. And Washington Township is just hitting. There we look at it again. There's a line drive smash. Washington Township playing very impressive in this game.
I believe it is now 18-3 if I read my run total correctly. This has been a 6-run inning for Township.
I can't even get the score right. Now we're going to make it 19. It's sliding in safely from third base now. I believe that's Story coming in.
Yes, it is. And Tad, I want you to do me a favor when you're done with this game. I want you to stop at your parents' house and remove all sharp objects from the kitchen because I don't think your dad's going to be in a good mood.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be pleased with this one. 18-3 as they batted around in the 6th.
We got 19 now, Tad.
19?
Last plate to plate.
I'm always one behind you. Out in front of that one, swinging and miss. Now, is this still Wood in the game?
This is still Jeff Wood in the game.
Wood.
There it is, the correct score.
Thank you, guys in the truck. All the guys in the truck doing an outstanding job again of bringing you the pictures and the replays today.
They sure as heck must have been scratching their heads at us the past couple of minutes, too.
That's in there for a strike.
So the 11th hitter now to come to the plate for Washington Township. And I think it's at a point now even the Minutemen are just about ready to get this one over with.
Pitch to Wood. Low in the dirt. Nice block again by Mafoda. 4 hits in the inning. 7 runs in the inning. Ground ball to short. Schulman. Love play to his right. Long throw, and Wood beats it out. Tremendous speed for Wood as he comes in to and gets a hit. Scoring on the play was McGinnis. It's now a 20-3 game.
And Ted, really nothing the shortstop can do on that ball. There's a ball that was just hit right into the hole deep, and Schumann really didn't have a prayer. Watch the replay right there. He's going to glove that. He's got no chance to get Jeff Wood. I don't care how strong a throw you make. Jeff Wood just too fast.
DM Phillips in the game. The lone starter besides Wood still in the game. Ground ball just fouled on that third base line.
Ted, I'm going to go out on a limb to say it's okay to use our 7th inning column on the scoreboard, even though it's still the 6th, because I would be quite shocked if Township batted again.
We would make the CNN and the ESPN highlights if there was such a thing like that. Can you? You can't even fathom an 18-run or 17-run inning. It just doesn't happen. It'll be dark before that happens out here.
And I think Mike Kerner on deck will make sure that that doesn't happen.
Phillips in this game has walked twice and scored, singled twice and scored, and tripled in a run, scoring 3 runs in this game. That's low for a ball. Eastern just cannot get this third out of this 6th inning.
It's been frustrating. You have to feel for the Eastern players because this is just not a fun situation for any ball player to be in. The score is 20-3 right now. And it's just really a point where it's embarrassment right now for the Vikings. And there you see a shot of, who is that fella, Tad?
Coach K. There's my dad out there. It's a tough one to sit through on this, especially if you're coaching this one.
Now, I noticed your dad had started in the dugout during the game and has slowly slipped towards the exit gate as this one is going along.
Yeah, but he's out there outside the dugout. And it's a tough one to take. A 20-3 game, that's a tough one to take. That's high for a ball. This 6th inning feels like it's never going to end.
Seems like they ought to put a disclaimer on this inning the way it's been going.
It's been a long one. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Going down swinging is DM Phillips. But let's recap for you. 8 runs in the inning. Okay, 8 runs is correct. 5 hits in the inning, 1 left on base. We're going to get set for our last 3 outs of the game for Eastern. They trail it 20-3.
And the rest of the outfield, along with Huckle in left, Kerner in center, Pete Story in right, Mike Wallace at third, Jeff Wood at short, D.M. Phillips at second base.
Gary Long to the plate, takes one for a strike. Malco throwing the ball hard. You're going to have to help me with who's playing where again. Kerner now, where is he?
Mike Kerner
Center?
is exactly where he started this game in center
There's a
field.
strike. Now our right fielder now is Story.
Yes, Pete Story now in right.
Okay. Any other changes we should know about here?
Yes, we do.
Curveball, line drive into right field for a base hit. A nice job of Long of staying with the curveball and taking it the other way. So Long's a leadoff batter here with the single in the 7th. That's only the 3rd hit of the game for the Eastern Vikings.
Okay, Mr. Tad K, follow along. Here is the complete Washington Township lineup for your top of the 7th quickly. Tim Huckle in left, Mike Kerner in center, Pete Story in right, Mike Wallace at third, Jeff Wood at short, D.M. Phillips at second as the first pitch is in for a ball, George Basante at first, Drew Colligan doing the catching for Jim Malcolm.
You're talented, Ed. I got to hand that to you.
I'm lucky.
Biazza takes one for a strike. Now this isn't Biazza now. This is number 7. This would be Steve Eustace, a junior. First time we get a look at Eustace. Eustace batting .091. Line drive base hit into left center field. Long's going to hold it second. First 2 runners of the game of the 7th inning are on with singles. Well, if they hit about 25 more of these in a row, they can cut the lead in about half.
Well, if that's true, I'm going to order pizza because we might be in for a long one. But you have to give Eastern credit here, Dad. They're getting really thumped on the scoreboard. 20-3. It has not been a good day. And they're still talking it up in the dugout. And they start out this inning with a couple of hits. I mean, that's great to see. And your father over there coaching has to be happy to see that he's still got a lot of spirit in his ball club, a lot of pride in their uniform.
There's one in there for a strike. This should be Keith Yablonski, number 2. It is Keith Yablonski.
You better get this right, Ted, because I just had to try and get 9 names. I'm leaving you with 1. But I think you are correct.
Keith Yablonski, runners at first and second, nobody out. There's a line drive into center field. Kerner retreating. Now he squeezed it, and there's 1 down in the 7th. That's good news for Tad, because Tad's had to go to the bathroom for the last half an hour here.
I'm very glad you told the entire area about that.
Oh, I've been dying for the last half an hour here, Ed. And now we have another pinch hitter to the plate. I believe this is our catcher, Ed. I believe this is Mafoda, number 4.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Or is it Cavone?
It is.
4's listed as Ken Cavone.
Okay.
Cavone has no hits and 6 at-bats. We were drilled by somebody behind us with a tennis bar. Are we that bad out of your head? Outside for a ball. Malco's really firing the ball, but Eastern hitting some decent line drives off him. 1 out in the inning. 20-3. Township with the lead. It's a 3-hitter, actually a 4-hitter now, combined for Township pitching. Pop fly down the right field line. It could fall, and it is going to fall for a hit. So a hit right there. Holding with the bases loaded is Long, so the bases are now loaded. They have more hits in this inning than they've had the whole game.
And again, Eastern just trying to play for pride here this inning. He's come up with 3 hits. That last one, you can't really fault Jim Malco. He put a good pitch in there, and that time Cavone just got jammed. There you see it just kind of fisted in the air. And the first baseman, Basante, could have made a long run for it, but he realized he wasn't going to get it, so he went back to his position.
Chris Dolan is now the batter. This will be his first official at bat. He replaces Bill Lacone. Lacone leaves the game 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored.
You see the runner at second base for Eastern as they have the sacks loaded. That is Steve Eustace, and there you see over at third base Gary Long.
First pitch to Dolan, low for a ball, 1-0.
Looking back at Gary Long, when he led off the inning with a hit, that was his first hit of the year, Tad.
Come on, Joel. Come on, Joel.
He takes one for a called strike. Dolan enjoys collecting bottles and playing with cats and annoying people. That's what he wrote on his card. He takes one for a strike.
Cat, as the question just came for our control truck, where in God's name did you just dig that up?
They fill out information packets for me.
Playing with cats,
He wrote that on his card.
collecting Snapple.
And
That is very
annoying-
refreshing. I do like that beverage.
And annoying people. Very colorful young man, a junior. Swung on and missed for a strike. So he goes down swinging. If you could only hear a producer in the truck back here with us. Going down swinging for the second out of the inning is Dolan. See if we have a pinch hitter here. We need them to turn around so we can see the back.
Well, that is Bill Leone.
Leone now?
Excuse me, Lacone.
Lacone. Swung on and missed by Lacone. Actually, this is Jeff Schull, actually. It's number 19. Is that correct, Ed?
That is correct.
Okay,
stand correct.
Schull in 10 at-bats has no hits. 2 outs. He's played basketball, football, and he also collects cards. Swung on and missed for a strike.
Well, again, Ted, in this situation, here's a guy who hasn't gotten a hit all year. Game is Venus. There you see the situation. 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, but a good chance for him just to get a couple swings up there against a good pitcher in Jim Malco for Township.
Ground ball down to third. That's Wallace. Throws to first, over the head. Another run comes in as Long is going to score. Biazzo is also going to score, so 2 runs in. Now it's getting a little bit more respectable, if there is such a thing for Eastern right now. They are really struggling, but they get 2 runs in the 7th.
So now 2 runs come in. That makes the score 20-5. And Wallace, again, hasn't played much third base this year, and he took his time. I think at first he had a brief thought of trying to tag the runner going by him. Then he decided, well, just take the sure out at first, and the ball just sailed on him.
If this stays correct, this would be the catcher, Mike Mafoda. This is Mike Mafoda, batting .429, 3 hits and 7 at-bats. 2 outs in the inning. We're in the 7th. 20-5, Township with the lead. Runners at second and third.
Well, Malco's got 2 outs this inning here, so he just has to worry about throwing the strikes here. And let his fielders take their chances right here. Even though we just had the error, this is a good lineup behind him.
Malco's pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike. Mafoda's a junior. Washington Township looking very impressive as the number 4 team in South Jersey. Curveball high.
And again, taking advantage of their opportunities. That a lot of poor play by Eastern has resulted in several of the Township runs.
And if you're watching us right now, you are really a hardcore baseball fan, I gotta tell you. 2 outs in the 7th. Outside for a ball.
I mean, it's great. These kids on Eastern are playing hard, even though the game is over. They've come out here this inning, played it a couple of runs. It's good to see. And Malco here, on the other hand, just wants to throw the ball over the plate and take his chances.
He can give up as many runs as he wants to right now. That's in there for a called strike, just above the knees. Full count to Mike Mafoda. This could be the last pitch in this game. That's low, ball 4, and Mafoda walks. Bases are now loaded.
Well, now this will be the 8th batter to come to the plate here for Easter in this inning, as the batter will be Jack Jewell.
Jewell has 1 hit in 23 at-bats. He's been struggling. From the left-hand side. Low for a ball. Bases loaded. 2 outs were in the 7th. Washington Township with a comfortable lead in this game. What is that lead? 20-5.
So you could say Malco will give up as many runs as he wants as long as they don't add up to 15.
2 outs in the inning. Pitch to Jewell. Low for ball 2-0 to Jack Jewell.
And Malco right here, he's just not throwing the ball over the plate. You got to throw strikes. Obviously, here up by 15 runs. Malco has just got to settle down. I think he's trying to aim the ball a little bit. Just put it over the plate and let the Eastern hitters do what they have to do and let your fielders do the rest.
See Tim Huckle in the back of your screen kneeling down. Now he finally stands up. He wants this game to end. Bases jammed, 2-0. Outside ball 3. Oh, that's in there for a called strike. I apologize.
Can't help wondering, Tab. We've seen it a lot of times in situations like this, how that strike zone just seems to widen a little bit.
And that's understandable for this situation. Fouled off the screen. 2-2. Once again, we're at our possible final pitch in this game.
I think that first strike gave Malco a little bit of confidence right there. He challenged Jewell right there with a fastball, put it right there, a little bit on the inside part of the plate. A good pitch right there, and Jewell could only foul it off.
Come on, Jack, go! Come on, Jack!
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jewell. Pitch to him. Low ball 3, gets away from the catcher. Another run is going to score, and it's now a 20-6 ball game. Coming in to score from third base is Kevin Cavone.
Well, Ted, the great thing about baseball, though, some people might not think it right now watching this game. The great thing about baseball is it's the only sport that's not on a clock. By that I mean you have to earn every out, every play to end the game. Doesn't matter what the situation is.
Runners at second and third. 20-6, Township with the lead. 3-2 to Jewell. Popped it up. Could be playable. Colligan has room. Squeezes it, and the game is over. Washington Township comes away winning it 20-6. They had a ton of hits in this game. 7, 8, 9, 14 hits I have unofficially. What do you have?